EA Sports NHL 24 World Championship. Rep your favorite club and play EA Sports NHL 24 and compete for a share of 150K. Register now at NHL.com/NHL24. Someone in this world stole my autographed basketball.
What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It is January 11, 2024. I got Alec Nava in here. I'll go ahead and add him in as we go ahead and go through the starting lineups. Now, some of this stuff is going to be fluid as far as the starting lineups, but we'll do it anyway. So, Seattle Kraken are 17-14-9, head coached by Dave Hakstol. It sounds like this. Matty Beniers, Tomas Tatar, Jordan Eberle, Vince Dunn, and Adam Larson. It's Alex Wennberg, Jaden Schwartz, Brandon Tanev, Jamie Alexei, Will Borgen. Yanni Gourde, Eeli Tolvanen, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Jared McCann, Ty Cartier, Andrew Burakovsky, and then Brian Dumoulin and Justin Schultz. Joey Daccord will be the goaltender on record for the Kraken today. And for the Washington Capitals, it sounds like this. Dylan Strome, Alex Ovechkin, Tom Wilson with Martin Fehervary and John Carlson, Evgeny Kuznetsov, Max Pacioretty, TJ Oshie, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, and Nick Jensen, Connor McMichael, Alexei Protas, Anthony Mantha, Nick Dowd, Brett Moleston, and Nicholas Obey-Kubel with Joel Edmondson and Ethan Bear. Darcy Kemper will be the goalie in net. Again, the lineup designations that I mentioned that are a little bit fluid. Again, Sonny Milano and Rasmus Sandin are out, but Ovechkin and Molson are true game time decisions. But we do know Alec TJ Oshie makes his return to the lineup.
And Washington wants this time to get right back to right form. Suddenly, the way they've been winning games is not by way of offense, which is strange to say because normally their team ran by offense, but rather because of goaltending and their defensive schemes that Spencer Carbery held up. We normally expect Alex Ovechkin to be the leading goal scorer for the Capitals every year. That's not been the case here, John. This time it's Dylan Strome was 15.
I will say this. I know we've talked about it over the last couple of seasons when we had mentioned the Capitals or just talk hockey. I really like the addition of Dylan Strome over the last couple of seasons. And I think the Washington Capitals are very smart to bring him back.
And they did so, and they did the right thing in bringing him back, and he's been the anchor for the team at the top line, whether it be Ovechkin or Wilson or whoever he's been in the line, but primarily as a top line center. Not exactly as we were expecting him to be when he was the third overall pick, but he's proven himself in the top six.
Yeah, he has. He's proven himself to be a mainstay in the lineup. And again, the Washington Capitals, for me, Alec, as you said, I'm surprised that they're doing as well as they are. I'm just going to go right out and say it. Alex Ovechkin, he is leading the team with 26 points. He's a minus 11, but he's only got 8 goals.
This is the strangest part indeed. He's sitting over at 830 career NHL goals, but we're 38 games in for Washington, where he's been a part of every game thus far.
Yeah.
That's strange to say. And facing up against perhaps the hottest team in the West, Seattle Kraken. We're no slouches either. They seem to be finding their rhythm at the right time, John.
Yeah, we're going to be talking more about that. They've won 7 in a row, points in the last 11 games. They're 9-0-2. And we could say this, when we get the next part of the break, I want to mention it again, but Joey Daccord, man, oh man, and the Coachella Valley Firebird has been excellent as this one gets dumped in. So we're underway at Capital One Arena. I got Alec Nava here with me. It's been a while since we worked a game together. Been stuck with the WJCs. He's been working football, but now we get a chance to bring you a hockey matchup, as this is an opportunity for Van Riemsdyk off the backhand and the former Red Wing Nick Jensen. We'll loop this around. So, Alec, admittedly, I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this matchup. Again, 2 Washington teams as we go off sides. And you know what? Honestly, I could say 2 teams maybe heading in the different direction of late, but the Capitals did get a comeback win against the LA Kings, who are struggling now all of a sudden.
Which is weird because LA, they've been coming hot out the gates. Now they haven't won a game here in the 2024 calendar year to begin with. Washington, if they keep doing this, they may be getting right at the right time indeed, but so is Seattle right now.
Yeah.
Missed out on the World Juniors because of time differences, but that's not going to help anyway. But, 2026, Minnesota, how about it?
Hey, I heard about that, Alec, and honestly, I might put that one on my bucket list to try to go ahead and get tickets to watch some of the games, at least on that end. We'll see how that works out. We'll figure that out. Good pass out in front, and somehow Washington doesn't get a stick on it. That was Connor McMichael from the Hershey Bears had a chance, and now this is an opportunity off the race. This is Yanni Gourde. Good work there by McMichael to go ahead and get a piece of it as Oliver Bjorkstrand, the All-Star representative, gets hit against the glass. And now the Caps will go ahead and play this one right to left. Again, they have the all-red jerseys again. The Capitals jerseys, for me, always look very clean, although I do like the black and the mix of gold ones that they used to use in the 90s. But I do like these reds. As Dylan Strome, it falls back to Daccord, and he holds on.
So off the gates here, we're getting a little peek of both sides, especially Washington. The Capitals, so far, having most of the possession here with the puck. Seattle, they're hanging in there, but they got to get right back at Washington's faces because Washington's been having much of the puck here throughout this first period.
Yeah, they love to play the puck possession game. They lock down on defense now for Spencer Carbery's squad, who honestly, if they could continue to do the things that they're doing and push for a playoff spot, I wouldn't be surprised if Carbery got some Coach of the Year mentions low key. I don't know if that would fall through, but they're more competitive than I thought they would be. As this is spun around the inboards away from Ovechkin now. And this is Schwartz as this one gets dumped by the Caps and then intercepted to the neutral zone. Here's a long slapper. This one bounces out of play. You get a stoppage at 18:01 in the first.
What we've been seeing with the Kraken as of late, they said that they didn't feel like they started off well at Buffalo when their line was in expectations, but they went out to win 5-2 in the end. Dave Hakstol, he credited his guys for getting tighter when limiting opportunities from Buffalo and not giving them a lot of time and space around.
And that's when Seattle's at their best, when they can roll out all four lines and do damage. Again, you have Jared McCann and Ty Cartier on the fourth line today. It's the same lineups that we had at Buffalo, but again, when I look at that and see a fourth line, I don't think of one as such. As Kuznetsov, this gets brushed calmly off the backhand by Joey Daccord. And a good back play. This will allow the Caps to be able to keep some puck possession. As it's Oshie for a long flip, and this one's held by Daccord, so the whole way.
And you did mention about the Kraken's fourth line. When you factor in that Andre Burakovsky is there as well, that doesn't even look like a fourth line at all, as I said. That looks more like a second line.
Yeah, the depth that Seattle can still show you over the season that they've had, it's still pretty surprising. I know they're missing Daniel Sprong, they miss Carson Soucy, some of those other pieces we've talked about before, but this is still a really good Seattle team, and honestly, Alec, they've been linchpinned by Joey Daccord, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, they have been. With him solidifying himself as the starting netminder of the team, which was not the original plan when they signed Bill Grubauer to that 6-year contract, but anything from your goaltenders is always a positive sign. We have such nice save percentage numbers.
Absolutely. Joel Edmondson got his shot blocked. Allows Will Borgen to get this one left to right. Again, Seattle on the road, whites in the mix with the teal and the black on the side of the pants. And the Washington Capitals be going right to left in the all red with the black pants. There's about 3 minutes almost left to go here. That is going away in the first. John here with you alongside Alec Nava. We'll definitely be switching off if we want to continue that side of it. I'm watching the Root Sports feed, but again, you have two really good feeds between two good play-by-plays. But thank you for listening alongside John and Alec Nava. As this is sent around the end boards here, and there'll be an opportunity for Adam Larson. So top line for Dave Hakstol's squad on defense is dumped in as it's Nick Jensen. Rattle this around the inboards. It bounced off the referee before it ever hit Matty Beniers. And it'll fall back to Nick now. So Jensen will break up in his own end off his backhand. He's still with this puck and across the red. This was a good move for JVR, and this will fall back on the other side for Jensen. Bounce off the inboards now for the left side, and offside entry are the Caps.
So what Seattle wants to emphasize is to be consistent on every one of their shifts. It's not just about 30 to 40 seconds on the ice, but for a full 60 minutes, whenever you had the skaters out there, such as a less study application of consistency, which came into the spotlight in Buffalo, where they averaged about 10 minutes on their middle six among their forward core, 12 minutes, averaging the most of ice time on the top line, 8 minutes on the bottom line.
Yeah, I saw that a little bit in the pregame as well, and that's what Dave Hakstol wants. He wants to make sure he gets these lines a little more applicated, get the whole same minutes across. And again, maybe that's why you have the fourth line side for what we just talked about, kind of eat some of the minutes and keep it all the same here, especially because the Caps, the way that they play with the puck position, you got to make sure you are on your P's and Q's and make sure you don't get any odd man rushes and get your chances here. Here's a chance where Bjorkstrand goes high over the glove of Darcy Kemper. I thought it'd be Charlie Lindgren today, but Darcy gets the start, as this is near the left side. Just on the outskirts of the blue, and it's Larson, now for Schwartz. I'll drop it back. Jaden Schwartz might get set to take a change or go on the off wing as this is dumped in. Turbo against Ethan Bear. Bear will win the puck possession. This is a failed clear. This will be dumped down in between a couple of bodies. Bounce off of Turbo. And here's a back pass for Ovi. This will take a sauce all the way to the left side of the rink. And behind the net now, Joey Daccord. This is kind of a feeling out process here. Bad turnover! A big bomb for Ovechkin, and Daccord makes the save.
Well, let's take you get there, John. We were looking for the Gretzky taste for Alexei Ovechkin, but also Oliver Bjorkstrand. That's another nice opportunity on the other side with that 2-on-1 on the back feed. He wanted to go on that tight window at the top right corner, but he might have fired a little too high, but Ovechkin looks for goal number 831 in his career, keeping track. Says 8 goals this season, which is rare for him to be scoring at such a slow pace.
Yes, it is. Again, the 831, as you said, he's got the same number of goals that's on his jersey, so it's easy to track right now. Right now, the shot tracker reads 3-0 in favor of the Capitals. Again, they mentioned Seattle getting points in 9 of the last 11 games. They've been hot. They've won 8 in a row on that end. You don't want to develop any bad habits. I haven't seen any of that right now throughout Seattle, but this is a franchise record as far as points and everything else, even for that. Another long shot from the blue line left side is saved by Daccord, so he's tracking the puck well.
And even Bear's sighting, we didn't know where he was going to go in free agency, but it took this long for him to be signed by a team. It's Washington who gets him on a 1-year deal, or 2-year deal actually, just over $2 million between these two years per season. That's Rasmus Sandin. He's on the IR. That's an injury replacement.
Yeah, they're going to need Rasmus back when he comes in. He's had a decent year as well, but you had guys like Strome, Sonny Milano, just really low-key signings here for the Capitals, and I think it's done quite well, to be honest with you. Darcy Kemper's numbers at the .897 save percentage, I think, need to be bumped up a little bit, but Charlie Lindgren has been excellent. Here's a drop extra pass, and that set up Ovechkin, and Daccord makes another good save.
You don't want to see number 8 at his office when he's readying up that one-timer. I know many teams, they still fear that one-timer. Yet that time around, Joey Daccord showed no fear in his eyes, slides across and making the extra slide. You turn that one away. That was beautiful.
So admittedly for me, Alec, I'll just throw it out there. And again, we talk about Ovechkin's goal totals and numbers. I'm not seeing anything wrong with the first couple shot attempts.
No, absolutely not. He's making the right moves at the right time.
So Van Riemsdyk will pick this one up now. So Kuz will have this, and behind the net again. Missing Nicholas Backstrom because of the hip resurfacing, kind of the same thing Patrick Kane was dealing with now with the Red Wings. Burakarski slows up. This one goes near the left side, eludes Jared McCann. Ty Cartier will spin this around the end boards here. Schultz. Cartier now near the left side of the dot. This will go back to the D. This will be tipped. Will go wide. Picked up now for McCann, the former 40-goal scorer. Again, for the Toronto Maple Leafs now turn Seattle Kraken. As this is near the right side off the seal of the wall. And this is a good bounce here for Farivari to be able to get a piece of it. Spinning around the end boards now for the Caps to be able to avert danger. Right now, the shot board still reads 5-0, and it's 13:40 left to go in the first draw on here. Alongside Alec Nava, doing play-by-play in color, but we'll definitely switch off. We're at Capital One Arena right now, watching this all Washington lineup pretty much, both Seattle teams. This is sent back around. Dumped in across the red line. It'll be Matty Beniers, second-year player out of U of M. He'll lose it, and I'll be a rush for the Caps. Near the right side, here's a good drop pass. This is partially blocked before it ever hit the cord. And again, from Washington, their entries in the offensive zone are clean. Their drop passes are leading to slap shots, rebounds. Matty Beniers now gets canceled off near the left side of the dot. Spun around again. Adam Larson will hold it in. Dunn. As this bounces off Larson again. Here's a good design up the back pass for Eberle, but it goes too far. And now Larson will get the carom. Here's a slap shot partially blocked. Picked up now off the backhand for the Caps. As they will try to get this one out. Here's a long flip for about 70. and this will go here for Larson. So forwards for Spencer Carbery's squad are going to go ahead and take a change as Larson continues to dance with us across the red line. Again, the entry from 100. Yanni Gourde will go ahead and try to pick this one up as it's an opportunity for Joel Edmondson now. He lost it into the right side of the red line, and the Caps will find it again. Go ahead and recollect right to left. It's Connor McMichael off the drop pass for Anthony Mantha, former Red Wing, and flubbed a couple times. Bad turnover. Joey Daccord, this bounces up in the air. It goes off his left pad, and somehow that stayed out. We might get a penalty call.
I'm in disbelief, John. From the turnover, Connor McMichael is asking himself, how did I not score there? I'll tell you how. The right pad of Joey Daccord, that is how. On the first shot. And the second one, what in the absolute world? That was one in which he's got to be thinking, how did I not score that one? Because that was the closest that we could possibly get to the first goal at this current moment. But Washington's going to be helped out by Seattle County nonetheless.
I'm not sure. Again, I might have misspoke on the side of that. It could be a puck on a play on that side played with a glove hand of whether they blew it dead or whether or not there was going to be a penalty. But as you said, it was Connor McMichael off the steal. Daccord makes the first save as it couldn't be lifted with the left pad. Then McMichael tries to lift it, shoots it over, and then we get a stoppage here. But already for Seattle, we could say this. There's been a couple bad passes here that allowed for Washington to get some primetime scoring opportunities.
Yeah, Washington, a sneaky team that can really creep up on anyone and fight. They're that type of team that many teams are not going to like facing. Pretty much like a certain player on the roster who may not be playing tonight. Tom Wilson. That's what exemplifies this Capitals team. They're that one team that other teams don't want to face because they can be a pest. They're comfortable with playing tight games. They're comfortable taking games to shootouts where Evgeny Kuznetsov can work his magic there.
Let me ask you this, Alec, because I know I've been buried a little bit with the World Juniors. You've been busy dealing with all this stuff, and I think you've been under the weather a little bit. But I was trying to follow along a little bit with the NHL All-Stars, and Tom Wilson was the selection for the Capitals, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the selection. I know I may get a little bit of bad thinking about when it comes to Tom Wilson knowing I'm a Pens fan.
Sure.
But, he deserves this selection. But the other one who's worthy of this selection would be Dylan Strome, for being honest.
Yeah, I think so too. I was looking at some of the numbers. I'm going to try to get a list of everything together for next week. Charlie Lindgren is one of those ones I think is not talked about so much, and even Joey Daccord. Here's a race now. Schwartz lets a shot go as we're back underneath the play, and this one goes up and out of play. Seattle gets their first shot on goal.
Oh, it took that long. Just 8 minutes in for them to register a shot. But there's a partial breakaway by Jaden Schwartz as there's a foot race against John Carlson. It was Schwartz winning that foot race down through the middle, and then the early opportunity to get that shot right after the whistle. But then another whistle.
So Max Pacioretty, again, he's just a few games into his return from the ACL tears that he's been dealing with. And then on the other end, Washington's really happy to have John Carlson back, who they missed throughout most of the year. So this team's going to look a little bit different. They've been able to get it done defensively with puck possession. Oshie, his pass, a little bit too far for Kuz, and we'll do it again as you go off sides.
I would love to see more of Max Pacioretty, don't you think?
I think he's a definite goal scorer on that side. We've seen him from Vegas. I really remember him from Montreal. Alec, I hope that he can get back and find his form because he seems too skilled of a hockey player. As long as he can stay healthy, I think he can contribute for a Capital squad that really needs it.
For sure. As we've seen with last year in Carolina, his season only lasted all 5 games.
Yeah.
You'd think that when he's fully healthy, alongside Andrei Svechnikov and Teuvo Teravainen, you would think that Carolina would be in the Stanley Cup final last season.
Yeah, there was a lot to talk about, and I know as painful as that series probably was for you when we were going through with the Florida Panthers, if they had somebody like him, you're right. I think all those games were all one-goal games. He could have been the piece to turn it around. Face-offs are 7-6 in favor of the Caps. They lead on the shot board 6-2. Find it hard to believe that the takeaways are only 1-0 in favor of the Caps, though. There's been some giveaways on the other side for Seattle. As this is spun around the end boards. Oshie off the back skate. He's going to go ahead and start to give chase as Seattle finds the entry. Here's the drop from Beniers, and it goes in the back of the net. Tic-tac-toe. Ty Cartier.
First goal after all those gaps early on here for Seattle. Borgen made up for it with getting the last shots on net in the last few minutes of this game. A drop pass from Jared McCann, setting up Ty Cartier from the top of the left circle. He just let that thing rip. He chose the near side, and it went in near side. 2 shots, but they have the lone goal thus far. With Joey Daccord stopping all 7 Washington shots.
That's a good-looking shot there for Ty Cartier. He's near the, right circle, lets the shot go a little bit low, gets past Darcy Kemper there and bleeds through. I don't think Kemper really ever tracked it there, Alec.
I don't think he did either.
So first goal since December 14th against the Blackhawks for the Coachella Valley Firebird. Now his second year with Seattle. As we'll see what happens now. Again, Seattle is one of these teams that can score a ton of goals. This is loose out in front off a clearing attempt. I'm not sure which Capital turned it over right there, but it was Cartier from McCann and Larson at the 8:50 marker of the period. As Nicholas Aubé-Kubel will lose it, and now it's Bjorkstrand. Go ahead and make the pass across near the right side dot off the half spin. As some of the ads are getting in the way for Yanni Gourde. Spun around the end boards now. Bjorkstrand off a double turn, trying to get around Van Riemsdyk as he gets canceled off. And now this is played in off the backhand for Faravari and sent all the way down. Larson will have it 7-2 in favor of the Caps, but Ty Cartier gets the first goal on the board as we're almost halfway through the first period. John here alongside Alec Nava. We'll definitely be switching off in the next part of the period here as it's Matty. Get this one now. Jordan Eberle. We'll send this across for Matty, but a good cancel. As this one gets sent back down the ice, Joel Edmondson, former St. Louis Blue. Again, I have to go ahead and look at my roster sheet a couple times because there are some players that have moved to different places. As this is flipped in here for Eberle. Put it in around the inboards. Eberle tries to track it. It's Anthony Mantha. And now this will be picked up off of the pursuit of Alexei Protas. Protas tried to drop it here for Mantha. And now it's intercepted here for the Dallas Star, Jamie Alexiak. Alexiak now. Find the entry. Here's a sauce pass for Eberle. A little bit too far near the right side dot. And now this will go across the red line. Mantha trying to get a stick lift. In between the left side red line, it's Jaden Schwartz. Will shovel it back to the defense. And the forwards for Dave Hakstol's squad will go ahead and take a quick change as we got 9:10 left to go in this first. Center ice pass. It'll bounce off of Wennberg and be flipped in as it's the Caps. We'll go ahead and spin it around for John Carlson. Again, just good to see him back on the ice as he'll pick it up off his backhand. Ovi. Here's a good stretch pass. Near the right wing side. Find the entry. Here's a drop now. Near the right dot. Ovi couldn't find it. He was trying to get into his office near the left side dot and let a shot go, but the pass was too hard off the stick. As this is Seattle and their own end. Washington doesn't give chase. They'll go ahead and take some changes as they'll calmly send it back to the Kraken. They have a 1-0 lead. Again, the shot still 7-2. Ty Cartier draws first blood in this game. Again, Alec and I, it's been a while since we worked together on this side, so it's good to be able to cover a hockey game once again. The last time we really linked up was the NBA in-season tournament when the Lakers won it. As this is spun around the inboards now, Van Riemsdyk gets pinned against the wall by the goal scorer Cartier. Now Kuz, here's a long outstretched pass. He was looking for a breakout. This is a wraparound attempt for TJ Oshie, and he gets denied by Daccord. What a save that was, Alec.
That was a close call on both sides, if we're being honest.
That was a good pass for Kuz. That was about 120 feet. Oshie now. Here's a sauce for Kuznetsov. Might try it again. As this is loose in between the circles. Now Edmondson thinks about it. Makes a back pass. Kuznetsov. He's got the skating shoes on. This goes off the outside of the crease. As Oshie now pinned against the wall. He got his face pasted there. Daccord makes the save. Gets partially blocked out in front. Washington. Another steal. Here's a shot. And this one goes wide. Washington's been pretty good with the steals right now. Kind of surprised they haven't put a goal on the board. But it's been Joey Daccord as it's sent around the inboards now. And this is a good stick knockaway that forces the Caps to go offsides.
Now, Washington's been a good possession team, and these last few minutes showed it, especially the chase that TJ Oshie had going after this puck to wipe off the icing and force a wraparound attempt that Joey Daccord closed off. There was another shot that went wide, but so far, Washington, they've been putting the pressure on here in the last few minutes and showing exactly, as is mentioned before, they're a good possession team and not a team to be taken lightly.
I don't think so either on that side, Alec. And I'll take it a step further. Yes, they're down 1-0, courtesy of Daccord getting the goal. But it would not surprise me if we see maybe a 2-2, 3-3 type of game, unless Joey Daccord continues to pull the rabbit out of the hat here and make some sparkling saves as he's done in the first. Honestly, we could talk about the Capitals having a 2-1 lead.
We could, if it weren't for Daccord playing out of his mind over the last month or two, because he has been so darn good. The Winter Classic was another example of this, where he led the Kraken to a 3-0 shutout victory, the first shutout in the history of the Winter Classic.
I know Vegas has been struggling a little bit of late. You can talk about the Winter Classic game. Hell, you can talk about the game yesterday against the Colorado Avalanche. That didn't look particularly close, but Joey Daccord's numbers, again, 11-5-8, 228 on the season goals against, 923 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. Did anyone expect Joey Daccord to be this good?
Well, given that he initially came into the plans for Seattle as a first-string netminder, this wasn't really the expected out of the gates. But now, with him going up on top, perhaps people are going to elevate those expectations and think that he's going to be, say, the starter for the team if the Kraken make it to the playoffs. That's what expectations can do for a team.
Because here's the situation, plain as day, for Alec and I. We'll tell you this. Maybe about 3 weeks ago, when we'd worked another hockey game and gone through some things, you and I had the conversation specifically and said, this might not be Seattle's year, and it's fine. Again, a little off and on. We know Seattle has all the other pieces going forward, and they're going to continue to build. And Joey Daccord's kind of saying, hold my beer here and holding this together, and Seattle is finding a way and scored and do all the things that they've been doing over the last couple of seasons, haven't they?
They have. They're turning the clock back to how they were last year when they took off with a forward depth, as was mentioned throughout their run to the second round when they pushed the Stars to 7 games. We can talk about that. We can talk about them knocking out the Avalanche in their first ever playoff series. We can talk about a silently good defensive core, and now with the core emerging as a starting netminder, we can mention that as well. They finally have quality goaltending.
Yeah, and that goes a long way because in the first couple of seasons, with the exception of the playoffs with Philip Grubauer against his former team, that might have went off the goalpost. But with the exception of that first playoff part of it, you haven't really been able to talk about the goaltending in a positive light. So Beniers, as Dumoulin gets this one, I'll put this around the end boards now. Here's a back pass. Beniers is there. We'll have to go ahead and settle it back down, as this is sent across. Vince Dunn, he wanted the 1T, but this is worked in behind the net now. Beniers, pass attempt. He won't be able to pick this one up off a teammate, as this will be an opportunity now for Dumoulin, former Pittsburgh Penguin. 6:25 left to go in this first. It's a 1-0 lead for the Seattle Kraken. We only have 2 shots in this period. The Capitals have 9. Daccord draws first blood. That's still where we're at right now. As Van Riemsdyk, he's being worked over against the boards now, trying to join in. But Connor McMichael trying to provide support, as this will fall back a foot race. And Vince Dunn will be able to get it now, as this is near the right side red line, a little bit too far, and this will be iced against the Kraken.
You know, it's kind of funny now that we are mentioning about Brian Dumoulin, that he is playing nicely on the third pairing for the Kraken and turning back the clock to when he was a solid defensive defenseman. Not exactly at his prime years, but still something left in the tank. And then you have Ryan Graves, who was a big free agent defensive signing for the Penguins, signed to that 6-year deal, and he's off to a rough start.
Yeah, it's interesting the way you're going to go is a little bit more toward the youth movement, but honestly, I agree with Kyle Dubas. I probably would have made the same move.
And honestly, given Dumoulin going down in the last few years and Graves being a standout defensive Jersey Devils. At the time the signing makes sense. You want to get young pieces to the core to complement your aging veterans.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting the way that it's working out right now. And again, we always write the book in this chapter for the Capitals and the Penguins, and we kind of put them in the same limelight. Well, right now they're pretty much in the same spot in the standings. They're just outside of it right now, but a couple more wins will put them in the playoff spot. It's kind of the way that it's been. Anthony Mantha has it now. Here's a sauce pass. This will have to be recollected here for Protas. And now the Caps off the backhand pass here is teeing up a 1-T. This one goes off the pad of Daccord and picked up down near the left side wall. As it's a tight turn now for Seattle, they'll go ahead and recollect this now with the former St. Louis Blues, Jaden Schwartz. Put this around the inboards now. Schwartz makes a great play. Wennberg, Borgen, shot to the traffic. This one gets blocked by a host of red jerseys and spun around the right side of the red line as it's an opportunity for Darcy Kemper to take a look at it. He hasn't faced a lot of shots right now. His save percentage is at .500. He's only faced 2 shots. Joey Daccord will go ahead and play to his defense. 4:50 left to go in the first. A minus 66 shot differential for the Kraken, but they've won 7 games in a row. How do you figure that? It kind of sounds like the Caps on that side. You might get outplayed, but you find a way to win. And if you're doing that right now, you're living right. As this is picked up now, Bjorkstrand is Dumoulin be able to provide support. As this is Schwartz getting the entry to the left wing side. Here's a clapper. Good save for Kemper. As this is off the right pad, just the 3rd shot for the Kraken in the period. As it's iced against the Caps.
It's so impressive that Washington is in playoff contention. And at 44 points on a 4-way tie of Detroit, New Jersey, and Pittsburgh. For 44 points, it was here all outside the playoff picture. But Washington, they're doing this with a goal differential of -23. That's the most impressive part.
Yeah, because it's a team, honestly, Alec, that we're thinking about. This is going to be a goal-scoring team. They're going to drive offense. Yes, they have some veterans. No, they've turned themselves into a defensive team. I really don't think we expected that. A couple rebounds. Once we get back into the action again and get a break, I'll get to my next point. As Matty Beniers got denied. But again, this Capitals team looks a lot different than we would have expected. And Spencer Carbery's done a good job with the unit, everything all told. 3:55 left to go in this first. Again, it's pretty cool to be able to watch Washington for the first time this year to see how they're getting it done. As this is picked up now. Eberle, good touch pass. And now it's Tomas Tatar. He was the new pickup from the Avalanche to the Kraken off a trade. Kind of seems like it was a smart one. As it's Kuz. Send this pass across. Couple dangerous passes there. McMichael couldn't find it. As it's spun around the inboards, Daccord will hold on to the post. But out of the 4-way tie that you talked about with the 44 points, I think, Alec, as close as we are, almost halfway through the season now, maybe we can say there's going to be some good teams in the Eastern Conference that just won't make the playoffs.
And the Eastern Conference is basically a bloodbath. That's how tight it is. We were expecting it to be a bloodbath with as many as 13 or 14 teams in contention, and we're getting exactly that, a bloodbath of an Eastern Conference, which has us going back to the talk when we were discussing about during the NBA in-season tournament, if the NHL were to implement a play-in tournament or an in-season tournament, but I'm thinking about play-in tournament in the way the NBA was doing it now.
Yeah, and again, the Eastern Conference teams we talk about, they would thank you if that idea would fall through and Gary Bettman would implement it. Again, when we talked about that a few weeks ago live during the tournament, I agree with you on that. So I feel like the NHL should try to do something to evolve. Again, some people say that it's the best sport and it's the worst when it comes down to Gary Bettman and some of the decisions are made. I can leave that for everybody else, but I do love hockey. I do think it's the best sport, but Adam Silver's had some progressive ideas. I think the NHL might need some of the same.
Yeah, Adam Silver's described, as you said, as a progressive commissioner. Gary Bettman may need to follow up with what Silver's doing in the NBA and write the ideas in-season tournament, play-in tournaments, as we are mentioning right now. Teams that are wanting to get a shot at the playoffs, say the 9 and 10 seeds in the East, which we will regard as the first 2 out in the conference. At this current moment, they'll be saying, thank you so much. The LA Lakers will be saying that too, because they were the 7th seed twice and made it directly off the play-in tournament, making all the way to the Western Conference final just last season.
Well, here's something. I know this is kind of out of left field, but if anyone's been following along, I actually caught a couple periods here and there on YouTube of the Professional Women's Hockey League. Honestly, good job by them through the 6 teams that they've had right now. It's been kind of entertaining to watch. But one of their ideas that they've had, if a team scores a shorthanded goal, it immediately kills the other team's power play.
That's an interesting idea to consider. Perhaps it could be implemented. I don't know.
That's some progressive ideas to think about. It's just one of those ones as we're back underneath the action now. 3:15 left to go here, thereabouts in the first. Still a 1-0 lead for the Seattle Kraken, courtesy of Ty Cartier. As this is McCann. This will bounce away from him. Dylan Strome had a great pass. Here's Pacioretty. Oh, he almost whistled it inside the top of the right crossbar. As he gets taken down, though, and now sent here for Seattle. But Alec, I'm watching that shot there for Patches, and that looked pretty good off the rush.
Yeah, that was a really smart shot from Pacioretty. This is what he does most. He's a natural goal scorer. He's going to have a knack for the nets.
So Ovechkin tries to leave it now. And near the left side, Dunn trying to go ahead and locate it. 2:35 as it's in Seattle's end. Good pressure here for the Capitals again. As this is picked up now, McMichael send it back to his defense. Van Riemsdyk waiting as this is near the right side dot. Good bounce out of the air. Oshie will locate. And this is knocked away from a late arriving stick by Seattle as this is flipped down the ice. 2:15 left to go in the first. Van Riemsdyk will have it now. Again, the shots on goal still read 10-5 in favor of the Caps. So Caps had a pretty good first period, but they are down 1 as the passing attempt goes up in the bench and out of play.
So I know Washington, they're hanging in there tight with 10 shots to Seattle's 5. But once again, it's puck possession that drives them more and more. But I went to watch the Capitals one time when Alex Ovechkin came to PNC Arena. They were comfortable taking it to a shootout where Evgeny Kuznetsov, unsurprisingly, did his usual cheat code tactic in scoring in a shootout. But they're comfortable in possessing the puck and running the clock down overtime to take it to a shootout. That's where you do most of the damage.
So when you say that, again, I know exactly what you're talking about, but for the audience at home, it's the slow up tactic that's allowed for Evgeny Kuznetsov, where he kind of moves at a turtle's pace and then gets the shot off. Honestly, Alec, not my favorite move.
Not really.
Yes, this is picked up now. Edmondson off the drop. And a good stick by Turbo. This could allow an odd-man rush. Here's a wrister and a goal! Turbo helps get it done, and Wennberg will finish it off.
From near the same place that Cartier scored, Alex Wennberg off the forced turnover by Brandon Tanev. They all know about his speed, but this is what Seattle likes in his defense. One of the most underrated aspects of Tanev's gameplay is his defense. He forced that turnover from Washington, which leading to the odd-man rush on the other way, and Wennberg made no mistake.
2 shots right now that go past Kemper that honestly I don't think he ever tracked or had a chance to save. And I'll say this, I know it's early, Alec, but I think I'm a little bit deflated if I'm Washington on the other end because I felt like I played a good period, and yet team's down 2-0.
Yeah, this is pretty much deflating because you play all that nicely on offense, and then you lay an egg in nets.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was wondering if a Charlie Lindgren would have an opportunity. This is not played smartly by Kemper. He's got to get back in the goal crease here as Bjorkstrand will get this one now. This is spun in off the wall. It's now a 2-0 lead for Seattle. They only have 6 shots on goal. Pinball chance from Borgen. They collected off the left side wall. Wennberg has a goal in back-to-back games. That's courtesy of the Root Sports feed from John Forslund. And this is sent around off of the wall. Yanni Gourde tries to go ahead and locate it. So Wennberg from Tanev. And again, Tanev, it was nice to call that in real time. A great defensive play turned into a goal. And again, it's always so important to have Brandon Tanev in the lineup because of that speed and his ability to make a play. Larson will recollect. 40 seconds left to go in the first. And I can say it like this, even though Seattle only has 6 shots on goal, it's been all Seattle. Tomas Tatar. This is one in a phone booth here. Matty Beniers trying to find it. And now Max Pacioretty will take the long flip. This is picked up in between a couple of skates and blades. Capitals, they really need a goal here in the final 20 seconds. as it falls to Daccord somehow. He holds on under 17 left to play.
So early on, as we're getting into the closing seconds of the first period, Washington's controlling the play. Seattle has been getting the advantage on their own end, and they're making no mistakes when they have the puck. Almost turned over by Kemper. That was not a smart move behind the net. If Steve Dangle was still on Sportsnet, that would have landed over there.
Yeah, it would have been a dang it. He would have had some of that again. He's doing some of his independent things right now, and it's working out well for him. As this is going to be an offensive zone face-off. This is one off of the tie-up, and a shot gets blocked. And now Seattle down to 10 seconds. They're going to want to take an excellent first period and kind of build on that as far as the turnovers. Ovechkin, he'll turn, shoot it off the outside of the cage, and we will get one more face-off before we end the period.
I don't know what Spencer Carbery is thinking here in terms of this last face-off with 2.7, but maybe if you're trying to get a goal right back and you desperately need it, perhaps pulling the goaltender for 6 attackers is going to be a boom or bust move.
I've seen it done before. Now they've added a second. It's 2.7. Probably not far enough to score a goal from distance, but they like to go 5-on-5 nonetheless. It's going to be an opportunity to try to win this quickly, maybe get Ovechkin a quick shot off the draw. Now it goes back to 1.7. So that's the clock I'm looking on Root Sports, trying to relay to everybody. Wennberg going to go ahead and take this draw. So what they will do is have Ovechkin off the off wing, off of the back wing, and try to get him a quick slapper. They just continue to move this clock. Now it says 2.1 seconds, and the refs are going to try to reconvene here. So Wennberg will take this one against Kuz. And it's tied up there just enough for Wennberg. It falls in the glove hand of Daccord. That's how we end the first. A couple of goals for the Seattle Kraken, and they're enjoying the first 20 minutes of play.
Yeah, they're definitely enjoying it all right. With 2 goals from pretty much the same spot, top of the left circle. Cartier, Wennberg, both lefties. They're controlling their own end pretty much nicely. Yeah, but Washington, I have to feel for them. You have all these shots, but Joey Dacord's been playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he has. He's been the story of the first period here. Again, there's a couple stories. Puck possession for the Capitals, play of Joey Daccord, and a couple of quick strikes that go in the back of your net. And honestly, I said it how I felt. I think Darcy Kemper maybe didn't have a chance on one of them, but you would have liked to see him maybe stop the other. And not so confident goaltending, considering there wasn't a lot of shots up against him in that period.
Not really. You know, how Darcy Kemper is playing, this is far from ideal if you want to get your starting netminder rolling, especially considering that Charlie Lindgren has arguably played better.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you Charlie Lindgren's numbers because I got it in front of me, and then we'll get in our intermission discussion. 7-3-3, 227 goals against, 928 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. I don't think that they expected that out of Charlie Lindgren, but they certainly expected more than a 224 goals against and an 893 save percentage for Kemper.
And they expected a lot more than what was being shown from Kemper. A lot more. Especially since he was a Stanley Cup champion when he was signed by Washington.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it to you, Alec. I do have a couple of topics in mind, but since it's been a while since we worked together, is there any way that you want to spearhead this first intermission talking point before I get into a couple?
I just want to say congratulations to your Michigan Wolverines on the national championship.
Oh, thank you for that on that side. Again, I understand how hard it would be for our other broadcast partner, Cooper Hopkins, to be on the end of it, but I was told that he went with another Michigan alum to go see the game. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Happy that he went to it. And I was surprised that Michigan had more rushing yards than Washington even had yards.
That's the most shocking part. If we would expect Washington to keep up fruity air because of Michael Penix Jr. and him being in Heisman contention. But nonetheless, with Washington making it to the national championship game, this is a win for the Pac-12 in their last year of existence. We'll see a lot more of Michigan and Washington now that Washington is going to join the Big Ten. But so far, it's been a big success for the Pac-12 in their final year.
I think so. And like you said, you got Oregon, you got Washington, some other teams going to the Big Ten. It's going to be pretty fun to watch, and it's going to force Michigan to also play against less cupcakes, which I would like to see. We'll see what happens with Harbaugh in the future and the rest of the 44 seniors. They came back to try to win it. They got it done, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Now we'll have NFL football to think about. The only thing locally, before I get back into the hockey side of it, is now it's the Lions and Matthew Stafford. Alec, I have to ask you this. Do you play the tribute video for Stafford, or do you wait until after the game's over?
Well, I'll say play the tribute video before the game. Say, never welcome back. This is what the Patriots did when Tom Brady made his return as a Buccaneer. So you have to cheer on him then, boo him during the game. Then you can give him a salute after the game.
That's fair. I wanted to ask your opinion on that. So I do have a couple things, as we do have some all-star starters that have been announced. We've gone through that. I'll kind of break that down a little bit more next week in the article side. But I want to look at standings in particular. There are some teams that I think we can safely say, Alec, that are already out of it. And again, I gave myself a caveat, but I'll tell you I got this completely wrong. I said Ottawa had to get off to a great start to be able to get in the playoffs. I did at least say that. They are in dead last with games to make up, but even the games that they make up won't even give them as many points as the Buffalo Sabres. So I will say the Ottawa Senators now are waiting for the draft. But I saw this the other day, and I want to just ask you honestly. Buffalo Sabres have played 41 games. They have 38 points. Honestly, they're about 7 points out of a playoff spot. That's my most disappointing team in the East. Would you agree?
I would agree with you, John. The expectation was playoffs for Buffalo, and so far they're not meeting it. There's a lot of ground to make up for that, but they're still waiting. And I mean, waiting to bring out this rebuild, and we're not seeing it right now. The early injury to Tage Thompson's not helping either. And with them facing this, there's a lot of ground to make up. You have to question about if you need another goaltender or if you need another defender to help make up for all the ground that you have put yourselves in a position in. Perhaps some forward depth. Maybe you have to look at how the team is structured.
Because look, you got, whether they're injured or not, just go through some of the names. Alex Tuck, Peyton Krebs, Tage Thompson, Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin, Jeff Skinner, I know has been injured, but he's there. There's a lot of talent on this team, even with some of those names. And I'm looking at Don Granato. I'm thinking he might be getting the axe.
It's really tough to say, considering he and Tage Thompson were so familiar with one another.
Sure.
And he helped build this team into a good offensive team. Their best moment was last season. This year, it feels like you may have to watch the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs in the win against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because I think that's a team that I was a little bit disappointed in. Again, Columbus, they weren't able to get to their expectations. Ottawa, now they're done. I mean, their record, Ottawa's record is 14-22. They don't even have an overtime loss. It's just straight losses. Their road record is 4-12. Absolutely brutal. Again, let's get to some positive news on that side. There are teams that have been hot. The Seattle Kraken, one of them recovering now, that is a 2-0 lead on that side. But the Edmonton Oilers, what have they won? Like the last 14-17? They're playing the Red Wings tonight. That one's scoreless right now. They've been hot. Again, Nashville, one of those teams I feel that I've gotten right, so that could be in the playoffs. But honestly, let's just go ahead and say what it is. The Vancouver Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets. That is a 10 out of 10, isn't it?
Yeah, they're going to get A+ season grades at the end of the season, barring any sort of collapse after the All-Star break for Vancouver and Winnipeg. We didn't expect these two to be at the top of their divisions. Vancouver and Winnipeg, we would expect to be around in the wild card, but not like this in the top of their divisions. Vancouver, of course, it said 10 out of 10. Offensive explosion. A revival by Thatcher Demko. Quinn Hughes and Philip Hronek. Winnipeg, we see them getting rid of Blake Wheeler and P.O. Dubois. And Gabe Velarde in return has been an outstanding revelation for the Jets, carrying over that goal-scoring prowess from L.A. onto Winnipeg. The trade's been working out well for Winnipeg, as we were expecting to see. Dubois, on the other hand, has been a rather stunning disappointment.
16 points for Dubois and a -8 on a team that doesn't really have any minus in the LA Kings. And that's an 8-year deal at $64 million. I don't feel that that's going to age well, kind of like spoiled milk, especially when you had Iafalo Kupari and Gabe Vigliardi on the other side, and a second-round pick.
Yeah, and Bjorkstrand trade is now becoming an epic win for the Jets. As Dubois, as we're looking at it, at one point, he has worse statistics than Jason Dickinson of the Chicago Blackhawks.
That is not good, ladies and gentlemen. So I have a burning question for me, and this is going to reside along the Winnipeg Jets, and maybe I miss a Canadian team, but I'll look through right now. So you have the Montreal Canadiens, the Ottawa Senators that are probably out in the East. And in the West, you have teams that are still available. In the Winnipeg Jets, you have the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers. So I've listed 5 Canadian teams, and the Winnipeg Jets are probably the front runner. But this is the time I have to ask you, Alec. I know that the Winnipeg Jets, they started out well this time of year, exactly at this point, almost in the same spot until they fell out. But I think Rick Bowness and company are going to be able to stay. Is this year possibly finally the year that a Canadian team has a chance to win a Stanley Cup, and who's the best one to do it?
Anything is possible here, John. It may be, if we're looking at a team that can possibly win the Stanley Cup from Canada.
Yes.
As you mentioned, Winnipeg and Vancouver, they're the 2 front runners. They're the most well-structured teams around all Canadian markets. I know Toronto is going to be up there, but the furthest I can realistically see the Maple Leafs is the Eastern Conference Final. For Winnipeg and Vancouver, those are the 2 strongest candidates for teams to win a Stanley Cup from Canada.
I would agree with you on that side. Again, Toronto, I didn't list them because you have to go ahead and assume that they're going to be the case. That's the only one in the East that you can really kind of see that happening. But, man, I think I would salivate at the possibility to watch Winnipeg and Vancouver play each other in the playoffs, because these 2 teams, I know they use the term wagon, but I feel like you have to say that right now with Winnipeg and Vancouver because they've just been playing that well.
Bonus points if the series between Winnipeg and Vancouver is the Western Conference Final. Let's go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
As far as anything that happens with the other American teams, but Winnipeg and Vancouver, count me in if we have to see these 2 in the Western Conference Final.
So I went through a disappointment in the East. Is there any team in particular, Alec? I'll just put it to you globally in the NHL. Who's been your biggest disappointment?
So among any team in the NHL that's been the biggest disappointment, you did mention Buffalo. So if I want to know as a team that to me has been disappointing, the closest one there is to biggest disappointment in the league outside of Buffalo, if we're looking at the West, perhaps Minnesota, but I'm not really all that disappointed in Minnesota. I'm just straight. The one area that I'm disappointed in Minnesota is the goaltending, because I thought Philip Gustafson would be the deciding for them to be their long-term goaltender. Hasn't exactly worked out the way that they expected. And then you get the injury bug. Everyone's basically getting an injury in some form. Everyone's getting ravaged, and their lack of depth is getting exposed.
Yeah, that's a thing to talk about with Minnesota. Again, the coaching change, I wasn't so sure at the beginning of it with Dean Evason. John Hines is doing what he can do, but when you lose a player like Kirill Kaprizov, there really isn't much you can do. I saw this video the other day. I just wanted to ask you. So the San Jose Sharks, we knew after the 0-10-1 start, it was going to be rough for them on that side. We knew that they were going to be at the bottom of the barrel. But right now, I'm looking at the Sharks, 9-29-3. I know we still have Tomas Hertl and some of the other players there as far as the cap and Mike Greer and a lot of work to do. But right now, they're a -90 in goal differential. Is it possible, as they're halfway through the season, they have 41 games played, that they could be one of the worst NHL teams of all time?
I mean, if we're getting to the bottom of the barrel, they have 21 points. We could be seeing this team as a historically bad team. They've lost 12 straight. They have by far the worst record in the league. But for this team to be historically bad, you have to be going back to the 2017 Colorado Avalanche. That year was a living nightmare for them. The Sharks are living a living nightmare right now.
And I know it's understandable on that side because, again, the roster construction and everything else, Mike Greer's got a big job to do ahead of him. We knew it was going to be like this, but it's already 2 double-digit losing streaks with games throughout the year, throughout this first half, multiple games where they lost by double digits, getting absolutely blown out. And the talent that's out there for the San Jose Sharks right now, I mean, I feel bad for David Quinn. What is he supposed to do?
And you can't do much on this situation. I just can't help but feel bad for both David Quinn and Mike Greer. But if I'm Mike Greer, I'll have to go around and construct it around for the off season. You got to be looking at the draft. You have to be paying attention with a close eye to the draft lottery. You have to be hoping for Macwood Celebrini in 2024, considering how draft lotteries works. Because there's no guarantee that the Sharks will get number 1. They can slip down to number 4.
Yes, they can. The Red Wings would know a little bit about that. Hell, the Pistons in the NBA side would know a little bit about falling down in the draft lottery. There really isn't anything else you can say. I will say this, as far as a team that's been a positive for me, I haven't talked about them too much, and I feel like I should. And it was a hat trick the other day for Matthew Tkachuk in the homecoming back in St. Louis alongside his dad. But the Florida Panthers, holy cow, do they look good of late. They're continuing to get healthy. And Alec, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them back in the Final Four again.
I mean, 8 straight wins. They're slowly creeping up to the Boston Bruins for the top spot in the Atlantic and perhaps even the East as a whole. They're tied with the New York Rangers, and the Rangers getting tiebreaker based on games played. But Florida, they've won 8 straight. They're still one of the hottest teams in the league, and if they can get their scoring touch right, in fact, Tkachuk has 18 points in his last 10 games. With him driving away, you know that the Panthers are forced to be reckoned with.
Yeah, for me, Alec, the only thing I could have said was if anyone was worried about Matthew Tkachuk, again, we talked about some of this stuff during the Stanley Cup Finals and just how beat up Florida was in the 7-game series against the Boston Bruins. It's only a matter of time before somebody like him becomes healthy again and starts to find a way to get points because you're not going to be able to keep somebody like Tkachuk down.
No, not for long. You can keep him down, but at one point he's going to get back up and get back to the physical play and the scoring touch that he possesses, dating back to Calgary and on to Florida. But not to mention 2 other guys who were hurt during the playoff run, Aaron Ekblad and Brandon Montour. They're still going on as strongly. But instead of Montour being the breakout candidate this time, it's Nico Mikkola who's been the breakout candidate.
That's a surprise for me on that side. And when you have, Sam Reinhart on the other end who has been a machine, I don't see any way you find a way to stop that. For the Boston Bruins, I was watching a pretty entertaining game the other day against the Arizona Coyotes, and the Coyotes were able to get that one in overtime. But something really bad happened for Boston the other day. Linus Ullmark, he got injured. Jeremy Swayman had to come in. Arizona picks up the win. I don't see an update yet for Linus Ullmark. All I see is that he's out.
Yeah, that's absolutely brutal when he was trying to make a sprawling save on Arizona. We're not seeing any updates either yet. All I've seen last in terms of injury updates was Trevor Zegras and Pavel Mintyukov being out for at least 6 weeks for the Ducks.
That could be something big because I heard a lot of buzz here locally that the Red Wings should be involved in getting somebody like Trevor Zegras. I'd be excited initially, but I also know, and no disrespect to Trevor on that side, defense is kind of more of an option, and I think the Red Wings need more defense than anything else.
Especially when you look at the Patrick Kane signing, that was more of an offensive move.
Sure.
Going after Zegras would be more about offense. Anaheim wants to establish a defensive identity with them, which rings true for Mason McTavish's game.
Yes, it does. And again, speaking of the Ducks on that side, we got a chance to look at, and I heard some comments. Again, some of them are off the record, some of them are on. Sometimes Spitting Chicklets likes to throw some things out there. But the Cutter Gauthier, Jamie Drysdale thing in Philadelphia, that got a little heated, didn't it?
I just laughed at myself silently when thinking about that. The Cutter Gauthier. I don't don't want to play here. And then he forces his way out to Anaheim. Well, Philadelphia gets Jamie Drysdale return, which is a nice pickup.
Sure.
The loss in Gauthier. But that really was a little heated.
Yes, it was. Do you want to take this second period?
All right. Well, given that last week I was under the weather, I'll give it a first go at hockey. Give it in this period. I'll take it away here for second period. Thanks, John.
No problem. If you're feeling under the weather or anything else, I can always flip back over. But I'm just happy to have you here, man. It's been a lot of fun to actually work a broadcast. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while indeed. I mean, it's been a month since we last saw the Lakers win their first ever NBA Cup. Now 1 month close to that day, we're covering hockey once more. Second period underway here at the nation's capital. I am Alec Nava, joined here with John Ott. So the first shot, initially the linesman gets his hand up in the air, stops play 8 seconds in 19:52 to go. It's Kraken up 2-0.
So I know Alec Vision's going to be a little bit ahead of me on this one, but I'll try to chime in on the things that I see in one color here. As we'll see if Joey Daccord can do a lot of the same things we talked about in the first 20 minutes. He's looked like a franchise goaltender.
And he has played the part indeed of being the said franchise goaltender. The end in the air was because of icing against Washington. Turnovers have been the Achilles heel, with one of those turnovers leading directly to a Kraken goal, which was forced by Brandon Tanev. Now we get back underway with the Caps. Winning the face out there going left to right in their red jerseys. And some nice throwbacks as well when you think back to the 90s where they had Eeli the goalie and Peter Bondra. Washington now for the left circle. This one stopped by Daccord. Nick O'Baker-Bell behind the net. Gets one off over to Jensen. Jensen walking the right point. Slick move. This shot may have hit the post. And a second one blocked in front. Then there's a takeaway. The Caps can't get the puck on their sticks. Goes all the way to the end where Jensen picking up the puck away from Tatar. TDR. Breakout pass. Bounced off the body. That was Matty Beniers as the Kraken walk it back in. But Washington takes it back up. Not for long though. Collision of bodies along the near side. Bodies going down like bowling pins, as John would say. Big mouth side. Gets his own dump and chase as he is pinned by 2 Kraken behind the net. And this one taken away by Brian Dunn, the ex-Penguin. As Vince Dunn next to him, chased by Dylan Strome, fakes out Strome behind the net as we're 120 deep into the second period. Washington searching for their first goal despite having 12 shots. All of them stopped by Daccord. Kraken going from right to left, as would be the case at their home venue. John Carlson starts up for the Caps. Breakout pass to the far side was intercepted, and no drop pass kept behind the net. Strome got there on Bjorkstrand, and it goes behind the net once again. Now out to the right point, this shot hits Strome. And then the breakout clear goes out, bouncing off the body. So it's Justin Schultz, another ex-Penguin, huge part of that 2017 run. He was the primary man on the power play. This one let go for even better. Oh, goodness. One of the Kraken ran to the backside of the wall. Entry fee is denied, and Alexei Protas has to retreat, knowing that's a delayed offside. Bear goes to the left side. It's Joe Edmondson cross ice for Protas, who could not handle it. The Kraken now take it away with Jaden Schwartz. Brandon Tanev fell down. Alexei picks it up. Will Borgen will shoot this one around through the far boards. Will be picked up by Bear, who is tied up. Behind the nets, Edmondson trying to fend off his guy, and this pass goes all the way to Seattle zone. Daccord will play it out. 17:25 to play as he uses the boards to get this one out, and McMichael will start it up. Jensen, they'll fake out one man, and then a breakout pass goes off a stick. Protas will let this go. Protas, chip and chase for Anthony Mantha, the ex-Red Wing. Back for Jensen, the deep point, cross-ice pass to Van Riemsdyk. McMichael gets close off on his pass. Protas at the near corner, sandwiched by Alexei, still tied up. Alexei will take it away and then get this one out. Jensen, his pass turned over to Ty Cartier. He'll give a go for Burakovsky, and then it's just out of the reach. Burakovsky faced his former team again. He was traded to Colorado for the 2020 season as Vince Dunn walks it in. Dunn shoots, and this one stopped by Kemper and out of play with 16:38 left.
This kind of seems a little bit like the first period where Seattle won't have the puck too much. Washington kind of does some of the same things, and yet somehow, Alec, Washington's got to find a way in this period, especially, I think, to break through and get a goal. They can't allow Seattle to somehow get a third goal with less than 10 shots.
Exactly what happened to Vegas in the Winter Classic, as was mentioned before. And Washington cannot and should not be allowing a third goal under any circumstance. This is the first of two meetings between both the Kraken and Caps. The other meeting will be on March 14th at Climate Pledge Arena as the Caps walk this over left to right. John Carlson drop pass. Long shot stopped by Daccord. Rush after the puck is collected by Carlson. Now back for Alec. Alec hands out for Carlson. Now goes back to the point for Ferrari. Alec hands out for Carlson. Carlson winds up looking for the budget. Backhand shot. Down rebound. Save the cord. Twice. Alexei keeps it in. John Carlson across for Alec. And another save by the cord. He's been all over this puck. All in for out. Several tie-ups along through center ice. This is stuck in no man's land. Now it's collected by Beniers, the University of Michigan man. Tolvanen has this one poked away. Here comes the Caps on the counter. Down has stopped. Right side, left the air. Save the cord. And this one kicked out. And Beniers took control of the rebound. Chased after by Dowd. Beniers slips. There will be no penalty as it looks like he fell down his own accord. It's done now. Oshie chasing. Puck goes out to center. And it's Tolvanen walking this across. Tolvanen from near to far. He uses the boards to get this to Gourde. Gourde keeps it down low and hopped over Bjorkstrand's stick. Washington picks it up. Oshie has this one poked away by Gourde initially. Oshie keeps. Not for long though as Gourde gets it for Seattle. Now inside, a good shot is stopped by Kemper. Well, Borgen chases after this puck with Lapierre on his tail. Borgen keeps it down low behind the net. Borgen pressured and one poked by the Caps. Gets this back for Washington and they clear this down. This hopped over Alexei's stick, but he keeps with it. Alexei, breakout pass to the far side on the entry. Spin around pass, he'll go to Tanev at the near corner. Back for Jaden Schwartz. Schwartz at the right side goes for Dunn. Dunn waiting. Goes across for Schwartz, and a long shot is stopped by Kemper. Tie up at the far side is picked up by Oshie. Alexei slips. This will go all the way down to Seattle's end. Will be collected by Brian Dunn. Last touch by Kraken, so no icing. Through the near side, this is bouncing off several bodies. No icing here. It did not go through the goal line. Trevor Van Riemsdyk starts up for the Caps. Breakout pass to the left side for Ovechkin. Tears one up. Pacioretty scores! He is back! Max Pacioretty! It's first of the year!
What a sequence there for the Caps, left to right. What a back pass between the skates. That's got to feel good for Patches. That's a hell of a snipe. No chance for Daccord. And Washington got what they badly needed, Alec.
Exactly as you said there, John. They badly needed this goal, and this is a feel-good moment for Max Pacioretty, who typically plays at the left side. He comes in playing at the right because Ovechkin is already solidified as the left winger, and Pacioretty all alone, right circle, no mistake.
That is a beautiful set. What a kick pass from Strome.
And yes, well, he played it like he's Leo Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo on the ice.
I can't believe that. He looks so good in a Capitals uniform. Again, we talk about the high draft pick that he is, but I think he's definitely an NHL mainstay. He's been good for Washington.
So far, so good at fourth game, and Seattle immediately counters. And Darcy kept with the save. That goal, big boost for the Caps there, as they're within one now. Here's the ex-Cap Burakovsky. Long shot is sent wide, and now the Caps pick it up. This could be an odd man rush, and they hurry. Valentine, backhand pass. Burakovsky was there to intercept. On the other side is a partial break for Jared McCann. He'll wait. Over the far side, who surveys options. Watched by Nick Jensen. Jensen with a steal. Jensen keeps it after one Kraken tried to poke it away. Van Riemsdyk holding from behind the net, and everyone goes for a change here. Van Riemsdyk still on the ice, waiting for someone to pass to. 13:20 to go. Pacioretty from Ovechkin and Van Riemsdyk the recent goal. John Carlson's on the ice, but he turns it over. Tomas Tatar walks it in. Tatar gets it behind the net. Seattle in control. Eberle gets it over to Tatar off the tie-up. Back for Eberle. He lost lost control of it. Watched by Van Riemsdyk. Back for the point. Schultz to Dunn. Dunn looks for the punch, and there is Dunn. And then a backhand shot missed the net. This goes back for Schultz on a long try. It was blocked in front. And now Ovechkin cannot control the partial break. Daccord jumps out the net. The play is out for Dunn. And this goes out to center. Into the Washington zone. This gets back towards, or Seattle zone, rather. Schultz starts up for Beniers. Beniers sends us in from the red line from near to far. Cannot be controlled by the Caps. Beniers will keep this in. Good pull there. Here comes the Caps. And then the breakout pass from Mantha is intercepted. Held in by Protas, though. Aside for Connor and Michael, bouncing puck goes over behind the net. Centering pass from Michael. He waits. And a save by Daccord. Held in at the left point by John Carlson. He'll go down for Protas. Protas behind the net. Protas out in front. Several whacks. And Daccord held his own in the net with 12:09 to play. But Max Pacioretty, the latest goal to get the Caps within one.
Yeah, that's a gigantic goal for Pacioretty. That's got to feel good having to get through all those injuries. And he looked like a clinical finisher there near the right side. Off that rush for the Caps, that was a good stick in the lane to get the transition there. But for McMichael to Mantha, I would have liked to just see McMichael shoot that puck so that way there would be a rebound out in front.
Yeah, McMichael had all that room to shoot. I believe he wanted to play more of the passing game because there's something, rather, but there was a lot of play to shoot. I watched the game previous week, and Jason Robertson decided to hold on to the puck instead of passing on in front for the potential overtime winner, Dallas against Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado won on the other way because Devon Taves was the one guarding Robertson. Taves generated the turnover, leading to the McCann breakaway goal.
That was an electric one, Alec. I'm glad that you referenced that. Anytime you get a chance to watch Nathan McCann, it's always a heart in the throat moment. And again, for all the good things that we talk about during the break, you can put the Avalanche on top of that list. The only reason why we weren't talking about them as much was because of the Jets.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. The Avalanche, they're not too far behind from the Jets. And the Avs are not getting talked about a lot because they're expected to be good. The Jets were not expected to be this high in the standings, yet here they are. Another team that we can talk about as well, one of the hottest teams in the East, the Pittsburgh Penguins, who have led the NHL in points since December.
I felt like it was only a matter of time, and again, I know it's easy to say, but when you have the power play unit, especially Crosby, Malkin, and Carlson, you're going to get points that get driven across. You just got to make sure you're able to keep Getzel and Rust and some other players there. I still would like to see Pittsburgh get in the playoffs, and I still think they can.
Yeah, now that you mentioned Jake Getzel, there's the contract situation that needs working out. His name is being thrown around a lot in potential trades. I feel it would be a big mistake for the Penguins to trade Getzel. He's a priority.
He's a Pittsburgh lifer to me, Alec. I don't want to see him go anywhere.
Yeah, I do not want to see him on any other team. The Penguins need him and need his services in the goal-scoring department. Been the best goal scorer that Sidney Crosby has had on his line as we get back underway here at Washington, D.C. Even Bear off the face-off win by the Caps. Bear long shot. Rebound in front. Protas cannot control. And the Caps, they're all over this puck. They get one goal, they just need the other. Yanni Gourde the other side, watched by Bear. For the far side, passes this one around, nobody home. Nava picks it up. Tolvanen got the way. Bjorkstrand takeaway, blocked by Edmondson. Borgen keeps it in. Onside, this goes past Gourde, and on to the left point for Alexei, who plays it back down low for Gourde. Yanni Gourde, or backhand this over to Alexei. Long shot, he was looking for deflection, but it was wide. Well, Borgen, trying to keep his composure, he's sandwiched by Protas. Bear all over the puck battle behind the nets. Joining him is Joel Edmondson. Three Kraken are there. Anthony Mantha was waiting for this puck. The Caps take it away. Here's Bear. Potential 3-on-2 if they hurry. And here they come. Centering pass for Bear. Bear tied up. And Washington cannot get a shot. Now the Kraken come the other way on a 4-on-1. Vince Dunn, save. Backhand rebound by Schwartz. He cannot send it home. They squander a 4-on-1. Unbelievable, John.
You never see 4-on-1s.
That is unbelievable. They get a 4-on-1, which is rare in the NHL. They don't even score off it, and his puck exits out to center. Jaden Carlson, who sends out for Vince Dunn at the left circle. Dunn out in front. He was looking for Adam Larson right back under the deflection. He sends it wide. Jaden Schwartz long pass. Darcy Kemper gobbles it out with his glove. He'll force a face-off as there's lumber all over the ice.
Larson lost his stick. There was a chance he was near the right side of the crease trying to tip it. It goes just wide. The 4-on-1 that we just had happened to be a shot for about a second and a half, and that's all that was. So Kemper could have faced a lot more danger. He kind of got bailed out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, kind of he got bailed out of that missed 4-on-1 because if we're looking at it, that should be a gimme for the Kraken.
Yes.
How do you miss a 4-on-1?
Let alone only get puck possession for such a small amount of time, Alec, on that. So do you think they'd want to do over, but you don't get those?
You don't. This isn't a Nintendo game. This puck now goes over all the way to Seattle's end. No icing here as Dumoulin pokes it away. This takes a bounce off the referee. Washington keeps it. Nick Dow will set up Ave Cabell. Back for Dow. Dow inside. Dow. Poke check from the core on a sprawling stick save right in front. They stop the fourth line. Dow with a good chance out in front, but the court says, nah. Now here's Dow coming back on a 2-on-2. As Ave Cabell down at the outside. Sandwiched by Borgen. Seattle trying to get this out, but the Caps keep it in. Balance side. Kraken cleared though, and this goes out to center. Where's Bearvari saying this off a body? Bearvari tries again. This time he is kind of successful. Where's the puck? It's onto the benches.
So I'll say this honestly, as we get our stoppage, it's one of the situations where I'm watching Washington for the first time. It's a little bit different as far as everything that we talk about. We might get a break as well. But the puck possession game. But honestly, I'm impressed from what I'm seeing with the Caps right now. The puck movement and confidence. Again, Joey Daccord makes a great stick save there on Dowd. But Joey Daccord's played well, and he's kind of stopped a little bit of what Washington's tried to do. Other than that, I still feel like they're playing the better game so far. I guess that's the scary part if you're the Seattle Kraken. With winning as many games in a row as they have, it makes life difficult.
For the Capitals, where they got shut out at home 4-0 in their home opener against the Pittsburgh Penguins. This is very different from that game in Washington, showing what they're capable of with Spencer Carbery being a more defensive team, but they're showing their offensive prowess here. They just need that other goal to get into the back of the net. They have one from Pacioretty, but a missed 4-on-1 is going to help them now.
Yeah, it definitely is. Again, I probably had a little bit of lag on my part. I saw that there was some buffering, so hopefully everything else is okay. But I agree with you on that side. We'll continue to follow along because I can understand why this Capitals team starts to frustrate some others and find a way to get wins. But again, the numbers say what they say, and Alec went through it a little bit in the first. If you're not able to find enough finishing, it doesn't matter how much puck possession if you have. You can't put it in the back of the net.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter how much you have. If you're dominating a game or if you're losing a battle one side from Washington, Washington is just going to be a pain in the butt to deal with.
Yeah, that's really all you can say. And on the other side, I think I went through a little bit of the records as far as who's upcoming next. So the Capitals are going to have a little bit of a rough time. I understand New York's lost a couple games here in a row, but the Caps get a home and home with the New York Rangers after this. So if they can't get it against the Kraken, they're going to have a tough time against the Blue Shirts.
Especially since the Rangers, they're the top team in the Metro. Even though the Rangers, they're down 2-1 at St. Louis, the Rangers are still a good team.
They've piled up enough points like Vegas, who's been a little bit of a downturn. There's been some teams like that. You pile up enough points, even like the Kings, you'll go through some of that. It's a long season.
Yeah, it's going to be a long season if you can't keep on going with the consistency here. The Caps now see this puck bounce off of several sticks from both sides. They have it in their own zone. John Carlson sets up across. Now the breakout pass for Strome, too far for him. The Kraken get this one directly onto Kemper, and he'll force a face-off to his left. So they do a good job of not icing this.
So I want to see going forward if Darcy Kemper can continue to find his way to get back into this game.
He is 12-14 for an .857 save percentage with past more than 30 minutes gone in this game. We're approaching the 31-minute mark overall in regulation. But we need to see more of Kemper on a consistent basis, considering that his backup, Charlie Lindgren, has outplayed him on a consistent basis. Yanni Gourde gets his back inside, around his goes for Bjorkstrand, the ex-Blue Jacket. Bjorkstrand from the far corner gets this one across. It bounced out with someone. Bjorkstrand lost the handle thanks to John Carlson. He gets it back, deflected in front from Tolvanen, and goes high. Gourde picks it up with the far side, goes behind the net, goes Strome picks it up, being sandwiched by Tolvanen. Strome in trouble, gets this one up, and out in front this goes for Pacioretty, who gets this into the Seattle zone. Dunn re-picks it up, and then the entry B to Gourde. Gourde goes around for the boards, too far for Tolvanen. Trevor Van Riemsdyk gets this one up for Washington. Backhand pass, and up this will go for Hendricks Lapierre one-on-one. Tap pass for Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov tries to go back. DJ Oshie, backhander stopped by Daccord. Kuznetsov can't get it to go. Adam Larson will get this one back for Vince Dunn. Kuznetsov on in. Takeaway by Oshie. Good keep in there. Across this will go. Van Riemsdyk holding at the right point. This bounced off his own man, and several cap fans want a penalty. They're not going to get one here. Seattle has it. There's no official's arm on the air for that non-40 call, as the fans would say. 7:43 to play here in the second period. The Caps need a goal to tie it up. Breakout pass for the far side. Oshie tries to center, but getting in the way of that pass for Hendricks Lapierre was one of the Kraken. And they start things up once more. Adam Larson drops back for Vince Dunn. Dunn skating out in front, chased by Kuznetsov. Dunn fires with the near force, goes over to the far side, and several pickups there from Seattle side. At the right circle, they now have it. Cat pass for Dumoulin. Brian Dumoulin to the slot. Can't find an open man, and Washington gets it out. Justin Schultz chasing after it. He picks it up from his own zone. 7:08 to play in the second period. Ty Cartier, Jared McCann, and Adam Larson on the first goal. Alex Wennberg, Brandon Tanev. Out in front was Wennberg, looking for a second. This one smoked wide. Wennberg from Canada was the second goal. Pacioretty from Ovechkin and Van Riemsdyk was the only Capitals goal. They can't get this one inside with the attacking zone, but a good stick lift gets it back in their possession. 6:45. Across this goes for Protas, who sets up out in front for Anthony Mantha, who has 11 goals this season. Mantha at the far corner. He'll settle it down around the forces to go over to Edmondson. Edmondson will settle at the point for Protas. Edmondson gets it back. Now Protas waits. Now fires this one off the stick of Tanev. And play stops and hits the mesh with 6:28 to go.
So I'm interested to see if the Washington Capitals can continue to find another way to get a goal here. They got one. The puck possession's been good. I know you and I talked about a little bit through the Twitter X side about this could be a sneaky good matchup. And honestly, I'm glad you brought that to my attention because when I thought about doing this game, I wasn't quite sure. But right now, this is anybody's contest.
It's anyone's contest right now. With Washington, they're right at Seattle. And they're going throat for throat. Another good game that I'm also paying attention to, the Islanders and Maple Leafs. We all know the storyline whenever John Tavares visits Long Island. So far, the Leafs lead 3-2. They're looking to make it much different from how the first game went around was a 4-3 Islanders overtime victory. Offside are the Kraken. They'll have to do a face-off outside the attacking zone.
I know in the second period intermission, Alec and I will kind of delve through the scoreboard. We got a lot of good talking points in the first. There is a lot of games tonight to cover, so we'll keep you updated in the second intermission.
Especially at the NHL side. Other guys, they may be paying attention to the NBA side, where the Milwaukee Bucks, they're up huge on the Boston Celtics, 73-37. The Cleveland Cavaliers got a big win at Paris over the Brooklyn Nets, by the way, 111-102.
It's pretty cool to see in the global games, but 73-37, ouch.
That's a big ouch. It's not, especially not that's not even anything competitive remotely. Joey Daccord can't handle it. Puck is loose, but safely goes away from the crease. 6:05 to play. Seattle walks it over beyond the red line. Kemper plays it out behind his net. 6 minutes to go here in the second period. Washington needs a goal to tie. He's been fair in his own zone. He'll survey and then send this one off to John Carlson. Carlson, he'll survey and go right back to Bear. Bear fires to the near side. This clear and just dump it, intercepted. And now Carlson gets it right back. Tries to backhand one through. Several Kraken in the way. And Seattle will get this up from right to left. Jordan Eberle, hustled off by Van Riemsdyk, but coming right in to help him out was Matty Beniers. Behind the net is Tatar, out for Beniers. No backhand one for Vince Dunn. Dunn has Larson open, finds him. Larson gets this down low around his nose, intended for Eberle. Eberle tied up behind him, it goes down. And attempted to keep it. Good job there by Vince Dunn. Dunn walks around for one tap, and then this puck goes around all the way to the left point where it's held in by Tatar. Larson at the right point. Tatar sits up at the slot. Long shot from Larson. This one stopped. Or maybe it went wide. Don't know exactly. But Larson will move this around. That passes goes for Beniers at center ice. This goes over to the Caps bench. 4:50 to play. Behind his crease is Daccord. He'll tap pass it over to Dunn. It's Dunn being watched by Hendrix Lapierre. Breakout pass from the far side. And this will be icing as this one was too far as intended target, Bjorkstrand.
So that's the first time, Alec, for me that I'm watching the Seattle Kraken. They kind of mirror matched the Washington Capitals there, didn't they? They had one puck possession. They forced in the zone, and they had Kemper to be able to make a couple of saves where he showed up pretty big there.
As he said, Darcy Kemper is up this game in the second period, and Washington is showing why they've been the better team throughout this game. They just need to match it up with a goal here because that's the most important stat. 4:32 to play, as Seattle goes from right to left to reestablish themselves. Adam Larson tries to go back for Yanni Gourde. Edmondson was it away. Gourde sandwiched by Edmondson. Caps picked this one up. So far, no penalties to speak of. It's been a pretty disciplined game. Gourde saw his pass go by his stick, and Seattle will keep. Ryan Gilman to the left point. He'll spin around and drop it back for a long shot. Gone down by Kemper on a long shot from Oliver Bjorkstrand. That one was dangerous.
Good.
We'll take a break with 4:09.
Yep, good athletic save there for Kemper, able to use his burst, get to the right side of the crease, and make a glove save on there from Bjorkstrand as we go to break, as you said. And again, I'm interested. No penalties, as you said, to speak of. Will the Washington Capitals employ the same type of having Ovechkin on the left dot for shots, or will they look different like they did with the puck possession throughout most of this year in this game? Because this is a very different Capitals team from the things that we've seen over the years, been able to get stuff done by committee, but I still think that they can be right there in the playoff hunt throughout the year as we continue to move.
Yeah, they can still be there and catch up to other teams, as you mentioned there. But once again, we're not used to this form of the Capitals.
No.
Because when the Capitals teams in the past, it would be a high-powered team that would run through the offense, and a lot of it coming in bunches, especially in the President's Trophy winning seasons and the year in which they won the Stanley Cup. That year, it was the offense and the power play in which they lived and died by. They won games because of the offense. They lost games because of bad power play or bad offense. But that was very rare by then. This year, it truly feels different.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you still have some of the names there with Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, TJ Oshie, Pacioretty now, and they're to kind of add into that. But their defensive core to me, when I look up and down this lineup, yes, you got John Carlson, but you got Ethan Bear, Joel Edmondson, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, Martin Ferravari. That looks much different than some of the Stanley Cup winning team against Vegas.
Yeah, back then we would immediately think of John Carlson. He was the mainstay in this Washington team. We would think Michael Kempney. We would think Dmitry Orlov. We would think Matt Niskanen, Brooks Orpik as the main five from that core.
I agree with you on that. So I think that's what strikes me a little bit. Is that defensive core going to be able to hold for the Capitals? Maybe that's why they play so much of a puck possession game.
And them finding in themselves are nice gems in which they acquired. You let go of Dmitry Orlov, send to Boston, find a good defenseman in Rasmus Sandin, which you acquired from Toronto, and sending away Eric Gustafsson. And for Sandin to develop the offensive game that he was trying to develop as a first-round pick. Good to see it from Carbery now, and the later half of the stint in which he had in Washington when he came over from Toronto. Good pickup there as we get back underway. 3:45 to play. This one tapped off a stick, and Darcy Kemper saw this one curving down like a baseball. 3:42 left.
Yeah, it did as it bounced off Wennberg. And again, for the Sandin point that you just made, I think it was just better that he moved on. There's so much pressure on the Daccord for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Probably kind of shunned a little bit of the development time that he wouldn't have been able to get unless he went to Washington, in my opinion.
That's a good point from you there, John. Because in terms of development, we're seeing that most of his minutes, they were slashed off because of how deep the defensive core was in Toronto. Most of those minutes went to his fellow countryman Timothy Liljegren.
Yeah.
In terms of young defenseman, here's a pass across. That was a long stretch pass for Nick Jensen. Gets sandwich. Kuznetsov keeps, then fires. That one blocked in front, picked up by the ex-cat. Andrei Burakovsky was being chased behind by DJ Oshie. Passed out in front, and Vince Dunn will go over left side. Broke it up. Here's Nick Jensen bringing his back. Jensen denied at the point of entry cleanly. TJ Oshie gives this one back for Farivari. Oshie goes back for Farivari. He'll walk backwards, and then back for Oshie. This will go. Up this comes over to Kuznetsov. Actually, it's not Farivari. And at the near corner, getting pressured for the Caps. Pass across. This one was a bad one as it exits out to center, and Seattle will pick it up with 2:45. Dunn from his own zone. Breakout pass. Bounced off of Tatar, and Kemper played this one out dangerously as John Carlson now taking this up. Pass to center ice. Pacioretty sets up Dylan Strome. Strome walks over. Fence on the shot, but this will go around to Alex Ovechkin. John Carlson keeps, fires this wide. I think he was looking for Pacioretty. And behind the net, this will go over back for Carlson towards the right point. Strome fakes, and it goes over to the left for Farivari. Strome fakes the shot, goes back for a walking Farivari. Bounced over stick. Holding is Ovechkin. Bouncing puck. Seattle trying to get this out. Would they do so? Tomas Tatar on a 3-on-2. Clean entry. Tatar holding. Broken up by Farivari. Did a good defensive presence as Ozen. And a quick shot from Tatar. Kemper had to stop that one rather quickly. 1:53 left in the second. As his Farivari over to the near side. He finds Pacioretty, gets this one in, and the cord will hold. 1:49 to go. Or is this an icing?
I believe we're going to get an icing here, Alec, because we get the whistle the other way. I know you can't lead much of it into this game, but I do want to ask you, does Tomas Tatar seem a little more comfortable in Seattle's offense than he did with the Avalanche?
He seems to be finding a home here in Seattle as it is. Up at that top line with Beniers and Eberle, and the role that Jared McCann used to have on the top line during that playoff run before Ty Carty stepped in the wake of McCann's absence. But Tatar, he's found himself a home here in Seattle. And we're just the price of a 5th-round pick. Smart one. Yanni Gourde scores! A pass in front, and Gourde banked it home off the stick. And Seattle, the late goal to restore their 2-goal margin.
Those are the ones that are always the biggest kick in the you-know-what when you get the late goal. If it's off the face-off win, it's a drive of the puck at the net, and Yanni Gourde beats everybody to it, gets a second rebound, and lifts it over Kemper there. That'll be one time that I don't blame him. But you got to win draws, especially late in the period as it goes near the right side dot, funneled toward the net. Yanni Gourde beats the defense a couple times and gets a nice, hard-working goal there for the former Tampa Bay Lightning man.
And that's a grit and grind goal, as someone mentioned there. Yanni Gourde gets the backhand set up nicely by Justin Schultz in front of one whack, 2 whacks. The second one, the backhand, and Seattle back on top 3-1 with 90 seconds to go. Do we have something here? We may be getting our first penalty of the game. They may be signaling interference.
I think so, Alec, near the right side boards of the blue line. We're going to get our first one. I think we've 131. Maybe not. We're going to get a neutral zone draw. Excuse me.
We may be. I don't know what they're calling here, but yeah, it's a neutral zone draw. I feel it was a hand pass, or maybe the puck may have been held on for too long or out of play. So we get the face off. No penalty thus far. So pretty much a disappointing game. I didn't see anything of interference as it's locked in by Tolvanen, but offside with 1:14 to go. They're going to credit Justin Schultz on this goal, actually.
Wow, not Yanni Gourde on that side. I thought Yanni was the one out in front. I guess I need to get my eyes checked. But 3-1 on that side. And I feel like I have to say it this way, and I don't mean to be discrediting towards Seattle Kraken fans because I do have a Beniers jersey. I feel like they might be playing their B or C game and they're up 3-1.
Yeah, they may be, especially given the case of this game in which Washington has been dominating on the offensive side of the ice. In which they're getting Justin Schultz on a rather bouncing puck. I don't know if this was an own goal, but if it was, that's a huge gut punch there. Yeah. Final minute of the second period, Carlson long shot goes wide, but we picked up by Oshie. Kicked out to Trevor Van Riemsdyk, blocking the left point. Van Riemsdyk's going to let this one go, and it's blocked in front. Exits out to center with 47. Van Riemsdyk back to his own end, watched by Tanev. Carlson passes in front for Kuznetsov, and now here's Pacioretty. Pacioretty passes this one off of Wennberg. Seattle pick it over 35. They walk this one up. Long stretch pass, bounced off body in front. No icing here. They'll be picked up by the Caps. Jaden Schwartz chasing after what I believe is even Bear. It is Bear. Long stretch pass, give and go for Dow. They walk this in. Dow drop pass for Oshie. Oshie stick lifted by Burakovsky. Burakovsky and Oshie tangled up near the Washington bench 10 seconds ago. And this may go back to Seattle as they walk this up. One last chance here. Ty Carty is just going to run out the clock here on this dump in. 3-1 Seattle here after 40 minutes of action. Justin Schultz with the latest goal. Eeli, Tolvanen, Oliver Bjorkstrand the assist, in which we thought it was Yanni Gourde in front, but it took an awkward bounce in front as Gourde was going after this puck.
Yes, it did, Alec. Good work in that second period. Again, for everything for Washington, it might not feel so good as far as where the scoreboard is, but again, big congratulations for Max Pacioretty to get his first of the year, to be able to battle through the injuries and get an important goal for the Caps.
A much important goal. It means something for Washington. We want to make a close game, something that they're capable of doing with and they're comfortable with. But sometimes you can only win so much close games before they come back to fight
right.
you. Maybe this could be what is happening, but we don't know just yet.
No, we don't. We have another 20 minutes. I guess the one funny thing before we go into the scoreboard, and we'll break it down here for you, is over under one penalty call for this game because we're still waiting for one.
I mean, it's been 2 periods, and it's been a well-disciplined game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we make it a regular season game in which we don't see a single penalty call, but that has happened in the past. Rarely do you see it in playoffs, but regular season, you could expect something if both teams are well-disciplined, which is exactly the case.
Yes, and again, here's another odd one as we start to go into the scoreboard. I don't have an update as far as the score because there isn't one. After 2 periods, it's the Detroit Red Wings at home against Edmonton, and they're holding the hot team to no goals after 2 periods.
Oh, this is pretty much a surprise here considering the woes in net for Edmonton, but it's been a lot of shots for the Oilers. Alex has turned away all 27, but to our shock, it's the Oilers defense that's helped the Red Wings to just 11 shots.
Yeah, that's good for them on that. So, and if that continues, then that means that the Oilers can actually be a playoff team that can do some things. They're still waiting to kind of be the team that went up against the Avalanche before they ran into a buzzsaw. Because for me, I know Alec and I might have differing opinions. I don't believe in the Oilers as much, but if they can find defense and goaltending, that's what's going to carry them through the pace of the play. We talked about 2 disappointing teams, so we might as well get this score out of the way here, Alec. But the Buffalo Sabres are able to respond, and now they're up 4-1 against the Ottawa Senators at home. And it looks like the Tage Thompson experience is going live and well as he's got 2 goals. J.J. Peterka and Peyton Krebs also have 1. Vlad Tarasenko unassisted for his 9th. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen stopped 17 out of 18. And it looks like they pulled Jonas Korpisalo out of 8 out of 11. Now it's Anton Forsberg, 6 out of 7.
You know, even though we were expecting playoffs for either one of these 2 teams, I know Buffalo's been a disappointment, but Ottawa, we mentioned about living nightmare. Well, we expected a bad season from San Jose. This is straight up nightmare scenario for the Senators. Dead last in the East, break it. But then again,
Right.
defensive core can only do so much if goaltending is not going to help.
Yeah, and if they lose this one like they look like they're going to, they're going to fall to 4-13 on the road. That is absolutely brutal. The Sharks might be ending their losing streak, Alec. It's 3-1 over the Canadiens at the Bell Center. Let's take a look at the goal scorers here. Nikita Ochuk, his first. I don't think I said that correctly, but Fabian Zetterlund and Luke Cunnin also have goals. Brandon Gallagher gets his 7th, but the latest goal from Nikita, that's his first at 16:44.
And limited opportunities you watch Nikita
Okotie,
when he was
thank
a
you.
New Jersey Devil, but he was part of that trade piece in which Timo Meier went to New Jersey in exchange for that trade package that included a haul, including Shakir Mukhamadullin, who was New Jersey's backup plan when the Rangers jumped them to get Braden Schneider. That's working nicely for New York. New Jersey, I just don't know about the Timo Meier experiment, but you have to get his confidence back up. San Jose, there's not much to say except, I guess, build for the future.
And for me, Alec, is Mackenzie Blackwood a trade piece?
I really think Mackenzie Blackwood, he may be finding his stride here in San Jose. Maybe Blackwood's one of those guys that does better on bad team, but because with what I've seen in New Jersey, everything went south between him and New Jersey after his rookie season. Now that he's getting back on track with San Jose, he may be your go-to guy if you're the Sharks.
That's fair. I just want to throw that out there because I think Mackenzie Blackwood's honestly done a good job this year, all things considered. Here's another good game, and this one's at Amalie as Tampa is continuing the homestand of the 5-game variety, and they needed to be able to get points. The game the other day that I was able to cover, Tampa was able to get the comeback win yet again, and they're trying to maintain this one against the Devils. So Braden Point gets his 20th. Luke Glendening with a pair of goals, including a short-handed tally. But it's Dawson Mercer and Jesper Bratt with a couple of goals for New Jersey as it's 3-2. The Big Cat, Andre Vasilevsky, stopped 18 out of 20. And Vitek Vanacek, 12 out of 15. He's got to get those numbers up.
Yes, especially goaltending has been a major concern for the Devils. We saw a glimpse of hope from Akira Schmidt, but that was just a glimmer. But it's been the same goaltending problem that New Jersey has had over the past few seasons. Not helping that they have been dealing with injury after injury after injury for the season. Dougie Hamilton, Timo Meier, Tomas Nosek, and most recently Jonas Siegenthaler. Not to mention Jack Hughes was in and out of the lineup with injuries from time to time.
Right. There's a lot going on still with the Devils. I know that they've been a Stanley Cup Finals pick for you alongside with the Dallas Stars. I still feel, even with all the injuries, that the Devils are still too talented to stay out of the playoffs, but I agree with you 110%. For me, the biggest problem is goaltending. They've got to find a way to get Akira Schmidt back into the lineup and playing games consistently and playing well, because if he isn't, Vitek Vanacek, he showed you last year in the first half, he can be good, but he was ridden too far and fell off. It could be the same situation here. And if the goaltending doesn't improve, that's going to be what keeps the Devils out.
And that's exactly what's going to keep them out if they don't get goaltending improvement down for the stretch. Because it's been that storyline throughout when you look back at their breakout season from last year. We mentioned about the Maple Leafs and the Islanders before. Well, guess what? It's free now. After the Islanders saw them fall down 3-1 after two Austin Matthews goals, Alexander Romanov and Bo Horvat tied it up. Horvat on the power play, Kyle Palmieri on the power play for the Islanders. Bobby McMann, his second career goal in the NHL, was the other Maple Leafs goal.
I feel like he's loved by a lot of Maple Leafs fans. Am I wrong?
Well, I don't follow a lot with the Maple Leafs, but good for McMann to get his second goal after he got his first goal a while back.
And I will say this for Austin Matthews. I understand you're one of the best two-way players in the entire world, but 33 goals already? It's possible that Austin Matthews hits the 60 marker. I'll just say that.
I mean, it's not out the wrong possibility he does that twice in his NHL career. Not to mention, when we look at Toronto, it's been a season for them, especially goaltending-wise. Joseph Wall being put on the IR. Ilya Samsonov getting waived and sent down to the minors. Now he's getting called up. We don't know when Wall is going to come back, but Toronto needs him badly.
They do, and I want to talk about another goaltender really quick since I'm looking at the numbers in this game before we move on. I know that Semyon Varlamov is injured, so it puts more pressure on Ilya Sorokin. But a 12-8-8 record with a 320 goals against and a 908 save percentage does not sound like Sorokin numbers.
It does not. You would expect a lot better, but so far this season, people talk about the Shesterkin versus Sorokin debate. Well, what all that Sorokin is doing here is giving more ammo to Rangers fans.
Absolutely. Got a couple more critical ones as we go through the scoreboard here. The Kings and the Panthers. Kings are in the midst of a 0-4-2 slide, and right now they have the lead against the Panthers, but tell that to the Kings when they had the lead against the Maple Leafs, or not the Maple Leafs, they had the lead against the Lightning, or they had the lead against the Capitals. They've not been able to hold it late. Right now it's a 2-1 game. It is Drew Doughty and Trevor Moore. Trevor Moore with his 18th. Sam Bennett gets one from Eetu Luostarinen and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Big Bob stopped 22 out of 24. And Cam Talbot, 23 out of 24 so far after 2 periods.
When we speak of goal scorers for the Kings, the first names that come to mind are Kevin Fiala and Adrian Kempe. Never thought it would be hometown boy Trevor Moore leading the way for the Kings.
He's been good on that third line. When you get a chance to watch them the other day, you have a third line with Moore and then Kevin Fiala on that same side. I mean, that's a pretty damn good one there. And I expect the Kings to be able to get to the funk sooner rather than later. Why don't you break down the Canucks and Penguins?
Dude, with Vancouver and Pittsburgh, the Canucks are up 3-2 at Pittsburgh in a crucial game for both sides. Brock Besser expanding his team lead in goal scorer with 27 with 1 on the power play. Well, how about we have both Petterssons score? Marcus hit with his first for Pittsburgh. Elias with his 21st for Vancouver, and then you have the usual Sidney Crosby show with his 23rd.
I don't know which I'm more impressed with, Brock Besser getting 2 or Sidney Crosby already having 23. There's so much to choose from.
Yeah, Crosby with 23 and age 36.
Yes.
Not to mention about the magic that he continues to pull. Alex Nedeljkovic, speaking of getting pulled, Nedeljkovic was pulled after allowing 3 goals. Tristan Jarry has started the second period, and he'll carry on with the third period. He stopped all 12 Vancouver shots he's facing.
Thatcher Demko on the other side, 18 out of 20. And again, for Vancouver fans, because I watched this a little bit in the WJCs, you also have another Pettersson product on Team Sweden. So you'll have 2 Petterssons, Elias up front and 1 on the back end defense, just to get it a little more confusing.
No, someone bring up the Spider-Man playing at Spider-Man.
Absolutely. I'm thinking the same thing. So Hurricanes all over the Ducks in a high-scoring affair, as you would expect. Again, as Alec mentioned, they're without Trevor Zegras on that side. Jack Drury with the latest. You also have Stefan Nason, Jordan Martinook, Svechnikov, and Shea, 5 different goal scorers. Isaac Lunderstrom got his first. Ryan Strome from Troy Terry and Jackson Lacombe. And Frank Vetrano, the Rifleman's got 20 as he scores on the power play.
Vetrano, we can say he's been the surprise of the year in terms of players. Because when we look at players, we would not expect Vetrano to be leading a team in goals scored. Already is 20. Wow.
I'm not sure what's going on in the goaltending situation, if Kochetkov got pulled or if they put in Antti Raanta. But right now, Antti Raanta doesn't have any save designations, but he's in the game right now, so maybe he'll be starting the third period.
I don't know what it's about with Kochetkov. Maybe is it an injury designation? We could think it's an injury designation. I'm going to check it up.
Well, you look at that. I'm going to look at John Gibson, 21 out of 26. He's got 5 goals against. I understand he's in a little bit of a trade rumor situation, but his numbers, 7 and 16, 297, 903. John Gibson's 30 years old now. And I will say this. I don't want to discredit John Gibson because I know it's not a great Ducks team. But Lucas Dolstall has had some excellent numbers. I think he's been the better goaltender. If I'm the Ducks and I get a good offer for Gibson, I think I'm going to take it, Alec.
Yeah, you're going to take the offer for Gibson at a heartbeat if a good offer shows up. Because Lucas Dolstall, he's shown that he is NHL ready. And he's truly at that point with several flashy saves that remind you of a younger John Gibson when the Ducks were in the playoffs year in and year out with Getzlaf and Perry. As for Kochetkov, indeed, he exited the game with an injury. He got checked to the head.
Oh, man. So hopefully Peter will be okay there. And Antti Raanta can spell it and lead for another win for the Hurricanes, who have been hot of late. Again, you're still thinking about some of the other goaltending situations there for the Hurricanes, as we talked about. For Freddie Anderson, hopefully he can get well soon. But, man, goaltending for the Hurricanes, that just seems to be a measure of concern throughout the year.
It's been a complete roller coaster. Normally we find stable goaltending, but this is the main concern that we have. Age. It seems to have caught up with Antti Raanta.
Yeah.
Now that he was sent down to the minors and then called back up.
Because he went from the Chicago Wolves, and again, I know when you said you were at the game, you were also thinking maybe even Yanni Perretz will get a chance to go ahead and go in goal. And I know I laugh at that, but Yanni was really good at Quinnipiac, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a chance to play in a game if things continue like this.
No, especially Perretz. He was outstanding in that tenure with Quinnipiac on the way to the national championship up against Minnesota and that comeback victory.
Yes, he was. I'd like to see him get a chance to play sooner rather than later. We do have a couple more updates for you, and then we have a late game. But the Blues still have the lead over the Rangers as they will continue. Start the second period. It looks like Jordan Kyrou with a pair of goals. That's really good to see because they need him and Robert Thomas to continue. Adam Fox has his fifth on the defensive side from Barclay Goodrow and Ryan Lindgren. Jordan Binnington has stopped 12 out of 13. Igor Shesterkin, 6 out of 8.
You can pick between the Kyrou or Robert Thomas for the Blues All-Star representative, and you may not be wrong. Kyrou with 2 goals, the Thomas getting the assist on both of them. These two have been a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, that's the franchise pieces that the Blues need going forward if they want to continue to have success. I guess the success for the Blackhawks after the first period is the Jets have not scored just yet. As it is in goal, Laurent Brossoit, 6 out of 6. Peter Mrazek, 10 out of 10. I saw that scary injury the other day, and I wanted to see if he was in the lineup. It looks like Mark Scheifele still is after taking that puck to the right ear.
Ooh, that is always scary to watch, considering John Carlson was knocked out after he took a puck to, what was it, the head?
Yes.
That's gotta hurt. And as for Chicago, they're not with Connor Bedard now, which means perhaps a potential Calder Trophy campaign. We may be robbed of seeing another potential Calder Trophy campaign from an electrifying rookie the same way it happened with Connor McDavid.
Yeah, that's the thing that hurts as a fan, Alec, on that. So I know that we watch. We love the broadcast and write and do all those things. But as a fan, I want to watch Connor Bedard play. But also the broken jaw, again, that's a horrible thing. And Brendan Smith, I know he just had a clean hit, honestly, on that end. But Connor Bedard, he just didn't keep his head up. He took a big hit. I know Chicago fans were angry, but it's just unfortunate that injuries are part of the game. And hopefully Connor gets well soon.
Yeah, hopefully. The way I see it, in my opinion, is the height difference between Smith and Bedard. Because the way I see things, I think Bedard actually kept his head up. He saw Smith, but it was the height difference that was the main thing in my end.
Yeah, that's fair to say on that side. That's the things that happen, especially when the game's played at a high speed. It's going to be Flames Coyotes. They'll be getting underway in a matter of moments. And the Bruins and the Golden Knights. I'm really going to be interested on that late game, Alec, because you got 2 goaltenders. Who's going to start in net the other night? Because Aiden Hill was a late scratch, and now you probably have Swayman for the Bruins.
And not to mention that because of the injury to Linus Ullmark, you're going to have to be forced to make a call-up from Providence as your third goaltender, that being Brandon Bossy, donning the number 70 instead of Jesper Boquist, who would be donning the number 70 on most nights. but you would have Swayman now in net with Bossy as the backup. Now Aiden Hill, you're expecting he'll be starting considering he's your best goaltender. His stats is not even close.
Right. Again, he's going to be an all-star representative, and if he isn't, he definitely should be on that side. I'll take this half period. If you want to go ahead and take the back half of it, we can finish it that way, as it's 19:45 left to go here in the third. Again, that scoreboard took us the whole side of the intermission as this one gets stopped off. Tatar had a chance. Beniers will try to find this in between his legs. Here's a fake of a slapper, as now it's Larson. They'll drive it in behind the net. Seattle Kraken enjoying a 3-1 lead. This has been an entertaining game as this is spun around the inboards here, but puck possession for the Washington Capitals, even though it's been a bonus, Seattle Kraken's taken the counterattack and shoved it right down the throat of Washington here, and they're trying to continue their long win streak. Cartier, Wennberg, and Schwartz have the goals for the Kraken right now. That's why they're up 3-1. Max Pacioretty got his goal, again, from the ACL tears. It was good to see him back on the ice. That was a wonderful pass from Strome. As this is in behind the net now, Wennberg recollected here. Tolvanen tried to sit out in front. Good save! And now has to make a second effort dive, but Kemper's got it.
Oh, those shots. As Seattle was right on it on Darcy Kemper. I mean, really pressuring him on every turn. Because Darcy Kemper, he was seeing all sorts of white jerseys all over him. Yanni Gourde, all of Bjorkstrand as slots. Tolvanen had the right idea in mind in finding Bjorkstrand, given he was so open. Bjorkstrand smoked that. Why?
So it'll be Yanni. And on the draw now off the third line side, off the tie-up. The Caps will get it out, but Tolvanen gloves it down. Seattle's got it again, and a drive to the net pass goes wide for Tolvanen. Bjorkstrand will shovel it up a stick save from Kemper as it's played in between the legs of a couple Kraken. But they will recollect here with Jamie Alexei. Alexei now gets his pass across. It's all to Bjorkstrand. We'll go ahead and funnel it in. Pass back here for Kemper. We'll go ahead and play this safely as the Capitals try to go right to left. The Kraken are honestly playing a better third period right now, I think, than they played through the first couple, and they're already still up 3-1. And what I mean by that is the puck possession and the chances. Here's an opportunity to the right side. Dot wrapped around the net. Good cancel off by the Kraken defense. Forced the Caps out wide. Fan on a 1T. Almost fall down was Ethan Bear. And this will fall to Borgen. Borgen now. Shovel it. As this will be played in off the backhand. In for Strome. As he's got this on the right side red line. Fire it in safely. And have to spin back around as Jamie Alexei. But his defensive partner will take care of it. Turbo absorbs a hit. And now Seattle will try to take this one left to right in the road white jerseys with the black pants as they continue this parade of point streaks that they've been on. Larson, this gets deflected out in front. This stays in play as it bounced off Tanev. Bjorkstrand gets it back to D. Seattle 13-0-3 when leading up to the second period. Capitals are 3-11-1 when trailing. Kind of tells you where this is going to go. But the Caps, if they can get the next one, they can kind of change that narrative. Here's an opportunity now as Kuznetsov tries to get to it, but Seattle will shovel it away off the glass into the neutral off of a delayed onside. Somehow this is on as this is dropped for Jensen. Here's a pass near the left dot. Van Riemsdyk sent it across for Jensen. He shovels it through the traffic, stopped by Daccord. As the Capitals have nobody left on the left blue line, Strome has to go pick it up. He'll go ahead and take his change. He was just trying to pick up one of his defensemen that was in the middle of the change. As this is intercepted, Seattle is there, the good recovery. As this is shaken up, I think McCann got hit in the head as he goes to the bench. And now Kemper gets a long pass all the way around from 60. Here's Matty Beniers off the back check. We'll go ahead and leave it for Schwartz. Schwartz now will settle it down and send it left to right across the face-off dots. It's Burakovsky. Go ahead and fire it in. Andre Burakovsky, just a few games back for him. He's been really injured since coming over from the Colorado Avalanche for most of his time, and they need his production. As this is bounced around, takes a strange hop in front of the crease in between the dots, and now the Capitals, this gets shoveled back in. Where's the puck? It bounces in between Beniers, and he can't track it. This will go all the way back to the defensive side off a couple of stick lips. Cleared to Matty, gloves it down, and sends it back near the right side dot. Here's a long outstretched pass off the back skate. Tomas Tatar will send it back. Eberle, Tatar! One-handed attempt, And this was stopped by Kemper.
Well, he tried to one-hand that with a huge. Rarely do you see one-handed goals in the NHL. But Tomas Tatar, he set that up one nicely. Jordan Eberle, knowing he was going to be double-teamed, he sends it back to the open Tatar, helps open up space for Tatar to get this one to the net. Jared McCann on the other side, I took a puck to the face. That may have been why he went on to the bench, but he's back out onto the ice.
Yes, he is. And for Tatar on the latest one, Alec, I could have swore that Tatar thought he scored.
Yeah, I thought so. Because he had his hand up. If he started celebrating, thinking that he was going to score. But no, somehow Kemper kept it out.
So this will be one more opportunity off the faceoff lane. Again, McCann can play center, but he's playing the right wing side today. Strome off the rush, and we'll see if this gets picked up here for the Capitals. Nicholas Aubé-Kubel. Mallenstein will wash. This is a slap pass. Here's a bomb. Shot up high. Stopped by Daccord. I thought it might dislodge his mask. As this is McCann now. In behind. I can't believe he's sitting on the fourth line right now, but that's just the luxury that Dave Hakstol has. As this is re-entered into the zone. Here for Dowd. Off the turnaround near the right side. This will be shoveled here for Van Riemsdyk. In the high slot of Aubé-Kubel moves it. Here's a pass that's nicely picked off by the Seattle defense. Again, this third period has been a really good look for them. They've got a lot of puck possession, a lot of shots, and they're starting to get closer on the shot board. Although the Caps are up 21-20, Kraken's still enjoying a 3-1 lead. It's been their game from the word go. It hasn't really looked like it, but the counterattack is what served them well. So Bjorkstrand's chance, it's going to count as a shot on goal as this goes for Alexei Protas. And this is knocked away. And across the blue line side, flip back to Seattle, and they will look to start again, left to right. Look for Tolvanen, but TJ Oshie got in the way, and this is a reset pass that'll work into the neutral zone for Oliver Bjorkstrand. He'll just slap shot this thing off the kick plate. Washington might have something off a 2-on-1. Kuznetsov the trailer. Pass never gets there. That is a poor design there because Kuznetsov could have made it a one-goal game. Don't know how that pass was missed. 13:55 left to go in the third. Both teams taking changes, so Seattle takes a breath and behind their net. They'll have it now. Racing across the left lane, drop for Turbo. Here's a wrister, sticked away by Kemper. Didn't look too confident there, but this is with the Caps. Off an outstretched pass. Bounced a couple times off the wall. Seattle is there, and now they'll find it. Off the drop, Jaden Schwartz trying to set it up, trying to be found in between a couple legs. Good back check there for the Caps. They will get a steal. Strome, Pacioretty, crisscross. Patches can't keep it in the zone as this will go back to the Caps. And now Van Riemsdyk. Find it in across the red line. He'll gain the entry. Ovechkin, he wants the drop pass. He's kind of picking up where the defense would be right now. As he'll shovel near the left side dot, work his way toward the net. It's Jensen. Nice backhand move. Jensen, power move! And he gets knocked down. And are we going to get any calls from this?
Yes, we are. It's going to be tripping penalty. Our first penalty of the game after 47 minutes of not having both Jensen on the drive to the net. Sometimes you're going to have to risk getting some contact down. At that time, he came in like Bobby Orr, and he went airborne on the trip by Will Borgen with exactly 13 minutes left.
That's a good call by you, Alec, and I think that's one of those penalties where you go, you say not everyone's a good one. I think that they denied a key scoring opportunity there for the Washington Capitals, probably one that had to be taken. And now at least, Alec, this is the time that I can ask you, 13 minutes left in the third. Is this a must score for the Caps?
If you're down by 2, you have to get a goal here. If not now, then you have to get one right afterwards. Say at any point, whenever you're attacking, fire it, blast it, set up a good design so that you can get a clean scoring opportunity. I know Ovechkin's having a down season by his standards, but you still want to find the back of the net, no matter if Ovechkin's shots deflected in by Dylan Strome, for example.
Yeah, I want to see what their game and attack plan is going to be because we already know about Ovechkin. We've seen that over the years. It hasn't changed near the left side circle. I'm watching in particular this game for me for Ovechkin. I'm watching where he goes on the ice. I do see some back end support, Alec, but I do see a lot of roaming here for Alex Ovechkin and maybe some assist play, some secondary play. And honestly, I don't know if that's what he's used to, but at the same time, when the Washington Capitals won the Stanley Cup over the Vegas Golden Knights, he was a pretty good assist man.
Yeah, especially after watching that footage of Sidney Crosby and helping him transform his game to be more of a playmaker than just being a scorer. Because sometimes when you watch film, your rival being a playmaker, when your game is primarily based around scoring, it can help pay dividends.
Sure.
And that's what helped Washington win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that you continue to see. Players at their advanced age. I mean, you followed Crosby step for step. Again, Ovechkin at the same time, because that's how it was in the draft. And these two guys be able to play the longevity in their career. You got to be able to pick and choose things you like from other players. And what better players to emulate other than Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin, honestly. So Will Borgen, right at the 7-minute marker, gets called for tripping. Unequivocally, it's the first power play of the game for either side as Kuznetsov slap pass, Carlson from Ovechkin. Carlson now in the high slot. Kuz has it. He's near the right side. Dot, big slapper for Ovechkin. Good save, Daccord. That's Oshie, excuse me.
TJ Oshie setting up at the middle slot to get this shot off. Sometimes you would want to have your best scorers get chances at the slot. That's where most goals are scored at and the most dangerous area of the ice. Oshie, in his career, he has a knack for the net, and that's his go-to spots.
This is a big carom off of a Carlson blast. Here's another slap pass. Washington's power play looks pretty good right now. Carlson, that one goes high near the left post off the deflection and sent back down. Man, the Caps were so close to scoring there, Alec.
And not once, but twice. Oshie and then John Carlson from Ovechkin's office of all places, as ironic as it sounds.
Strome. Kuznetsov now. This is a good shovel for the Kraken. Last 20 games, their penalty kill is about 91%. Again, Joey Daccord is going to play a big key of that because your best penalty kill man is your goaltender, as you know. 45 seconds left to go. Kuznetsov still on the power play side. Bounces away from Strome. Strome not giving up on the play, but this gets cleared all the way down. And maybe the Kraken have settled things down here as the kitchen was starting to get hot. Carlson now has it. He will continue to skate off the back. This will be an opportunity for Connor McMichael, the Hershey Bear, trying to get this one as this is knocked away. This will go back to Carlson. Carlson will take a breath, and he'll leave it here for Connor McMichael. Try to find the entry now off the neutral zone trap here for the Kraken. It'll fall to Daccord. Big rebound. Somehow that doesn't go in. And this is picked up now for the Capitals. Here's a bomb for Ovechkin. And this one's saved at 93 miles an hour. Nice stick for Ovi. Ovi tried to settle off the wrist, and the Caps want to say that was played off the netting, and they might get an offensive zone draw out of this.
How in the world did they not score on that power play? They were so close to finding the back of the net several times. I don't know how many shot attempts that was. Connor McMichael leaving that big rebound behind for Anthony Mantha, and Mantha just cannot buy a break. Neither can Ovechkin, as normally where he scores in his office. That office may be closed for business for the moment.
Absolutely, from the way that this is going. I know I'll probably take another minute here, and then I'll just pass you the play-by-play like a hot play, and hopefully to get a stoppage in between that. But hopefully, Alec, honestly, too, that we get another power play because I want to see it. We just haven't had a lot of that. The Caps came close. It's 24-21 shots on goal as this is settled down off a couple of sticks. And that'll be the Ethan Bear back in line for Spencer Carbery's squad. As this is picked up by Edmondson, Pacioretty. Goals against the last 5 games. Here's the key. 20 for the Caps against them. Only 5 for the Kraken. As this is picked up now, Faravari off his backhand. As this will be slapped by Ovechkin and put around the inboards here. Alec, you can go ahead and take it away.
So far, in the midway point of the third period, so Washington, they had the low power play in this game. They had a lot of opportunities to make it a one-score game once again. Just cannot find the back of the net. But it can also speak to how good Joey Daccord has been. over the past few
Yeah.
months, in the past month. So now with 9:55, Washington plays it up. Mantha, who had the best chance on the power play for Washington, had it turned over onto the late offside. Seattle now picks it up. Jaden Schwartz goes into the attacking zone, watched by Nick Jensen. Double team, but Bjorkstrand will help him out. Not for a long though, but the Caps turn it over. Schwartz gets us down behind net for Bjorkstrand, watched by Edmondson. Bjorkstrand had knocked loose, and the Caps pick it up. Moving from right to left. Here they come. McMichael to the right side. Here's Mantha. Drop pass, McMichael out in front. And there was no shot towards the goal. Daccord wasn't even tested. On to the other side, here's Gourde. Dumping this right in onto Kemper. He'll glove it down with 9:14 to go. And we'll head to break with the Kraken continuing to lead 3-1.
So I know Alec Nava is going to take it the rest of the way for us, but honestly, Alec, I'm glad that we decided to do this one, all things all told. I know I said the first couple periods that I thought Washington had the better of the game. The power play looked good, even though they didn't score. But Seattle in this third period, Alec, as I'm watching, I can see why Seattle has had as much success as they've had. They started to kind of get the pace of play. Now they lead on the shot board, 24-21 shots on goal. They've had some good chances, and as you said, for Joey Daccord, he's been the real deal so far during this stretch.
He's been a revelation in net. Well, more than just a revelation, but he's looking like a stud in net for the Kraken. Maybe they have found their guy, and we're really looking at it in real time. The Joey Daccord experience coming in full scale. It's what development does for you, how it helps you.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those ones all told, Alec. I don't know if I can think about Ron Francis and the rest of the crew up there in Seattle, whether or not they acclimated Joey Daccord to be a future number one goaltender. But you're looking at one right now.
At real time at this current moment. I'm going to give some current updates at this moment. So the Devils tied up 3-3 with Nathan Bastian getting his second of the year at Eberle Arena.
That's a good update there on that side. I'm also looking selfishly for myself there, Alec, for the Oilers and the Red Wings. Somehow it's only a 1-1 game.
Oh, not a lot of shots by Detroit, but to get one past Calvin Pickard. It was Andrew Copp who gets the first goal of this game, answered by none other than CMD, Connor McDavid.
I don't know how many more years Connor McDavid's going to continue to do this, but he might break all sorts of NHL all-time records if he keeps this up.
I mean, last year he just had 153 points in a single season. We've not seen that since Mario Lemieux in '96. I've never even seen a 150-point season in my lifetime.
Tells you how good he is. Take it away, my friend.
All right. So now as we get right back into action here at the nation's capital. So in the meantime, Brandon Saad had a power play goal for the St. Louis Blues to get the Blues up 3-1 on the New York Rangers. We're less than 9 minutes to go here in regulation between the Kraken and the Capitals. Also paying close attention to the Islanders and Maple Leafs. In the meantime, we all know the headline. John Tavares taking on his former team. Nick Gourde on the breakout pass. No good entry there, but this one backhands wide of Joey Daccord. Tolvanen gets their first icing with 8:38.
As this stretch continues for the Seattle Kraken, I can't help but wonder if they found that same magic that they had last year. I know some of the pieces are different, like we said. When you're missing some guys, they're like Donato and Strome and company and all of that. But man, oh man, Seattle now all of a sudden seems like they haven't missed a beat.
And all of a sudden, they're finding their stride throughout the season as it goes along. When we speak of scoring updates, how about Connor Murphy for Chicago Blackhawks in the first goal against the Winnipeg Jets? That's a shocker.
Yes, it would. And again, maybe a little bit of a letdown for the Winnipeg Jets, but we'll see because they played so well. Maybe it happens every once in a while as this puck goes up and on a plate.
Yeah, maybe one of those games for Winnipeg is both Seattle and Washington have 13 block shots each. The lucky number.
You got to be able to pay a price to score some goals and play in the NHL. I can't imagine blocking shots feels too good, but you can ask Chris Tanev on that side for the Calgary Flames, how that feels. He seems to do that every single night.
Yes, and we speak of the Calgary Flames. Good timing for you to mention the Flames. They're up 2-0 with Michael Backlund scoring 20 seconds in, and then Yegor Sharangovich scoring short-handed on the Coyotes.
It's a good start for them. They're a good short-handed club.
Yeah, very good as well. Alexei Protas gets this deep. 8:07 to play here in the third period. Puck bouncing behind the net, now coming out in front with Seattle in control. 8 minutes to go. Larson setting up 10 and right on. Return big for Adam Larson! He scores! Adam Larson! 4-1 Seattle.
That is a disgustingly beautiful goal. I don't think there's any other way I can describe that there. What a way to stay with that for Turbo on that side. Be able to finish that up there for Larson. You're a defenseman off the rush, and you make that type of move to tuck it past Kemper. That's gorgeous, Alec.
Oh, indeed. That was filthy. On the backhand, forehand, backhand. You make that move, you fake out Darcy Kemper, who's basically asking himself, what am I to do here if a defenseman fakes me out? Yeah, exactly. I think he's wondering that. What is Kemper to do there in that situation? Was get faked out, except for slide to the right and hope for the best.
And Alec, one more thing before you get back into this. How good was Turbo's sauce pass out of the air? That was ridiculous.
That was a thing of majesty. It was ridiculous for the sauce pass in the air. And Larson, a goal and assist. His first goal since December 16 when he faced the LA Kings. As the Kraken, they're going back to work here. Tomas Stark, he was hit hard towards the backside of the wall. And Larson from Tanev and Schwartz hits the goal. Icing waved off. Washington got to it first on Seattle's zone. The Kraken pick it back up and get this one out. Every good thing that Washington does here offensively, there's just a nice response here by the Kraken.
Yes.
And they're doing everything that we've been expecting them to do throughout this winning run.
Yeah, Alec, I really don't feel like Washington has played a bad game. I know I've said that a few times, but some of the goals that Seattle scored has just been really pretty.
Yeah, especially that Adam Larson goal. Here come the Caps, moving from right to left, going Strome. That's one bouncing body. That's ready for Strome. Plays the backhand. The court's down. He's still down on his knees. He gets back up. No shot on goal at the end, though, so he can breathe now. 6:33 as the sent in by Jared McCann. He's chasing after his own dump in cross corner. Burakovsky there with him as well. Burakovsky cut off by his former team. The Caps, they try to escape their own end, but cannot. Jared McCann, backhands in front, and this one over the net. And they get knocked down with Jared McCann penalty coming up against Washington. So we'll see Seattle on the power play. We do get the play stopped. So the Kraken get their first crack at the power play.
Yes, they do. What a pass that was from Jared McCann and behind the red line. He set up Ty Cartier with a room service time, and somehow that got shot wide. It would have been 5-1.
Would have been 5-1 had it not been for that. That was as pretty of a setup for Seattle as it is on a kick by John Carlson. I think it was Trevor Van Riemsdyk on a trick.
Yeah, McCann got hit pretty good there on that side, so thankfully he popped back up. So Trevor Van Riemsdyk cross-checking's the call.
And cross-checking, thought it was a stick initially, but it was a push. This contact, but it was the slightest contact in what gets Seattle to the man advantage. First time you're on here tonight, but outside of Trevor Van Riemsdyk and Will Borgen has been pretty disciplined here. And Seattle, someone falls down. This goes all the way back to Joey Daccord. And they'll have to set this one up from their own zone. Power play 20.9%, which ranks 16 in the league. Capitals PK 78.6, which ranks 19. Entry is the 2-on-2 for Seattle. They'll wait over the far side to the point and then across for Burakovsky. Burakovsky goes back for Schwartz. Now to the left side where this is, I believe, Jaden Schwartz. And Tolvanen go tip for tag in the catch. Schwartz goes back down low for Burakovsky. Back for Schwartz. He looks to the left, now to the right, back for Burakovsky. Burakovsky sends him down low, behind the back, and this one bouncing over to the far side. Washington will just clear this one out casually. I don't know about clearing the puck now. You need goals. You have to move that up.
I agree with you, Alec.
Here's Jordan Eberle on the entry. Gets it over to the far side for Jared McCann. Setup man has been Dunn. Oliver Bjorkstrand walks around 55 on the power play. Center this one around in front. This took a long time to get to McCann. And McCann is going to throw on his backhand. Now to forehand. He spins around. McCann now goes back in third base. Goes to Dunn. Dunn goes back over to McCann. McCann takes his time. Sets up down low at the goal line. Now it's Wennberg. Can't go up out the goal line. And Washington will clear it out. But brought back out by Oliver Bjorkstrand. Thought he was going to take this one in. This Dunn will weave his way through and then backhand this one from near to far. Nick Jensen all tied up at the far corner. Jared McCann a tie up, and Washington will play this one out. Vince Dunn will pick this one up from his own end. 4:25 to go in this game. Seattle second swept on the power play, 10 of them, as they move this one up. They're starting to get two defenders on the ice. Adam Larson's out there. Tolvanen goes over to the far side, and this power play is killed off. Brandon Tanner sends this one across for Yanni Gourde. Trevor Van Riemsdyk back on the ice. Back in the back. Around this will go over to Mountsign. Mountsign will send this over far corner side. Seattle trying to get the dagger here. John Carlson sends this one over to Mountsign, but opt over stick. Dunn finds Larson. Adam Larson, red pass. This will go over to Tanner. Tanner enters, drops. Here's Tatar, fires. And this was stuck in the slot. Kemper is a heat. And this will go over to Protas. Alexei Protas centers down in front. Then to the left side for Mountsign. Mountsign cut off by Dunn for the moment, which allows Alexei to pick it up. Washington chasing after it was Mantha riding first. Just goes to the point. Bears sets up Edmondson. Edmondson, long shot. This may have hit the bar. And then Seattle gets this one out. We're moving from left to right. Ty Cartier. Cartier backhands one as he stops at the half wall far side. Washington picks it up. They keep an eye on here. Darcy Kemper if we were to get pulled here. And as far as it goes, it's still 4-1 Seattle. Real fight to go here. Washington control. Protas lost the handle. 3 minutes left. Seattle now with the puck. From their own zone, Will Borgen will just let this one go to them. And then back across this goes. Ryan Dunn will spin around at the far circle. Borgen, you cycle and then move this one from the red line. He shoots it in. Washington picks it up from the far side, though. They need goals quick. 2:40 to go. Across this goes. This pass intended for Ovechkin was cut off, and Seattle sent this down from Jaden Schwartz. Behind that, this goes 2:30. It's started up by Nick Jensen. Jensen, you look. In the meantime, still paying close attention to how Leafs Islanders will end, considering it's a tight game there at Long Island. If this remains tight, it will be the second game between the Leafs and Isles, in which will be 3-3 heading into overtime. Strome goes to right, and the Kraken will pick this one up and get this one down deep to the near corner, cross dump. Van Riemsdyk gets shoved by Burakovsky at 158. Low retribution for last time around. Kraken have it with 153. As time winding down, we may know who's going to get away with this game as the victors. This may be icing against Seattle, but perhaps, no, it's not an icing. Runs down more clock as it bounced off a body beyond the red line. Of course, time becoming the enemy here for Washington. This is onside. Connor McMichael sets up. There was nobody in the slot. Those turnovers really becoming a problem here for Washington. And it's been turnovers. That's been the Achilles heel for the Capitals throughout this game, especially on the second goal.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Alec. On this side, third period looks like complete control for the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, they're slowing things down here and complete control of this game, following the Capitals' formula, playing it to their advantage with puck possession throughout this period. We head to the final minute, and we may already know who's going to win this. So the Kraken will once again face Washington on March 14th. They'll face the Blue Jackets next at Columbus, 3:30 Pacific time, 6:30 Eastern time. 45 seconds left. The Blue Jackets 2-3-4 in their last 9 as we speak. 40 seconds to go. And Washington, they're going to change lines for perhaps the final time tonight. So we may know who's going to come away with the win here. The Islanders with the last shot at 95. So watching on side by side, ESPN Plus and Google TV.
I'm surprised, Alec, on this side before we get to the close that we didn't get a goalie pull at all for Washington.
Yeah, not at all. And Gourde maybe Eberle this fired wide, and this one sends up just outside, but Seattle may be comfortable just taking a final score. As the clock ticks, as Tomas Tatar will send this one back, and Mallenstein will make no attempt at going after it. The Kraken with a big win at the nation's capital, 4-1, have a huge victory off the back of Joey Daccord.
I will say this, Alec. I know the scoreline probably doesn't dictate that the game was really close. I thought the Caps, at least for the first 40 minutes, I can say that clearly, that they were the better team. But Seattle, here's the dangerous part. Like we said, I might have talked about a C game. I'll move it up to a B game on that side because that third period, they did absolutely dominate there. Now they got a franchise-tying 8-game wins in a row here for the Seattle Kraken. And all I can say in a couple days of the Columbus Blue Jackets is good luck.
Well, going up against a red-hot Kraken team, and of course you're going to have your hands full with the Seattle Kraken heading into that night. It's been a complete victory for Seattle in what has been mostly a B game, or C game actually for the first two periods. They upped that to a B game in the latter period. Good job from them.
Yeah, they really did. And again, selfishly, on my side, before I'm closing out here, it looks like we might have a goal that's negated here for the Red Wings. I saw it was 2-2 for a moment, but it's 2:05 left to go in the third. Well, actually, it is 2-2 as Draisaitl has the puck. So I'm going to follow along here before we close up for the Red Wings game, if you don't mind.
Oh, no problem. I'm also giving you updates from the Islanders Maple Leafs game, considering, of course, a mini rivalry.
Yeah, so this is going to be a lot of fun here. Again, selfishly, what is it? The Edmonton Oilers, I think, are on a long win streak as well. Isn't that 8 games as well, Alec?
Yeah, with their new head coach, Chris Knobloch.
So here's something that you'll never see. The Red Wings, it's 2-2. They might have a chance to steal a point. They're being outshot 45-19.
That's the most amazing part of this game. That it's a tie game, yet the Oilers, they're in complete control of the game offensively from start to finish. We may have our second 3-3 overtime game at Long Island between the Leafs and Islanders.
So Alec and I are going to stay with you for a little bit of bonus action. I don't think we both mind here. I think 2 games might be headed to OT. As I'm looking at Patrick Kane shooting near the left side dot, just getting a piece of it on the other side was Pickard. As that would have went in the net, would have gave the Red Wings the lead.
The Red Wings are still hanging in there, and indeed it's overtime at Long Island, 3-3. All eyes are pointing towards 91 in white and blue. Final minute of regulation between the Oilers and Red Wings. The most amazing part is that the Red Wings have just 19 shots. The Oilers 45 on the Valley Sports Detroit feed.
Yeah, they've been looking, and I said this honestly to you, Alec, is Alex Lyon, again, it was a few days ago. He was like the first Red Wings goaltender to get 5 straight starts in a season for a long time. It's been a revolving door. I can't imagine where the Red Wings would be if they didn't have Alex Lyon.
Yeah, I can't imagine, considering you start off the year red hot, and then after the Patrick Kane signing, I'm not going to correlate the Red Wings' recent skid to Patrick Kane, but you have to turn things around to how it was at the start of the year.
Yeah, they were so beat up with a ton of injuries. I think the correlation was just poor time for some of them. Bounces up in the air. It's in! 9 seconds left to go. I think Edmonton's going to steal points. It looks like Evander Kane, but the refs are talking.
Yeah, we're going to have a booth review. They're wiping it up.
So if you're ahead of me on that side, I'll say thank you, Alec, for Alec Vision. So it's still 2-2 as my heart was in my throat.
Oh, I don't know what happened for that to be waved up. Let's see here. Derek Ryan gloves it down. He did not get control of the puck. Evander Kane shot it before Ryan had control of it on his stick. By rule, this is a hand pass, so the goal is wiped off.
Man, couldn't you have called Moritz Seider for a cross check?
Yeah, this is a down. Derek Lalonde, I feel he has to be signing a breath of relief, but Chris Knobloch, on the other hand, I don't know what the emotions are going on to him. He's saying I think he has to be saying in his mind, he was cross-checked.
Absolutely. Even I would be upset if I'm an Oilers fan on that side. Even as a Red Wings fan, I'm kind of scratching my head on that end. I want to make sure that we follow along with both of our games. So it's OT right now between the Maple Leafs and the Islanders. It looks like this game might go to OT, so I'll follow along and look at it. I know Alec's going to have some updates for us.
So here we go, indeed. Oilers, Red Wings, 2 overtime. We start 3-on-3 OT between the Leafs and Islanders. Will the Leafs be able to exact revenge? Oh, long stretch pass. And immediately an icing as Noah Dobson touches up. The Leafs are trying to run it through Austin Matthews, who wants the hat-trick overtime goal.
That's ridiculous, Alec. How many times can we say that? Honestly, is Austin Matthews the best goal scorer in the NHL?
As of right now, he is. So we're showing a replay of what happened last time around with Matt Barzal setting up Bo Horvat for the win. Horvat loses the faceoff, but it's helped out by Dobson. Barzal scores! And it's over at the island. Matt Barzal in overtime.
So another one of those games for the Maple Leafs. They'll fall to 21-10-8. They're still getting points. Good work there for the Islanders, be able to finish that off. It's tough for Martin Jones, but honestly, I think he's done a decent job for Toronto, all things considered.
Yeah, decently enough. But by the way, also noting of selfishness, the Penguins and Canucks are also headed to overtime as the Islanders salute Matt Barzal. The icing really helped them out with Dobson on the keep and Barzal get a light tap just right by Martin Jones.
And again, to what you just talked about, Sidney Crosby with the only goal in the third at the 1931 marker. I know Alec's going to move over to that. I'm glad we did double time here, Alec. We got OT everywhere.
We got, you get overtime. You get overtime. You get overtime. Everyone getting overtime. Gonna be Oprah Winfrey in the building up next.
It's been a lot of fun here today. Again, our featured game was a good third period for the Seattle Kraken, but that didn't take away anything from the game here on this side. How about a natural hat trick for Sidney Crosby?
How about it? It'll be a sweet way to finish this one up and to send these Penguins fans home happy. They're looking for another point. It's Crosby, Gensel, and Carlson to start off, and the Canucks get the opening possession to begin. So, gets you 2 overtimes for the price of 1, or 3 overtimes for the price of 1.
Yeah, we're looking at both of our favorite teams right now. Again, if this ends quickly, then I'll flip back over to Vancouver and Pittsburgh. But at least for Pittsburgh, a couple Crosby goals, they do pick up a point against the Vancouver Canucks, and that is big.
That is big indeed. Quinn Hughes gets across for JT Miller. Dang, Carbery! He has been a wall ever since he came in relief of Alex Nedeljkovic. There's a false start off the faceoff in our other game in which we were looking at. Evgeny Malkin takes this drop pass. The Penguins are 3 and 4 in overtime. He walks his way inside. And this time it's Leon Draisaitl getting tossed out. There's been overtime all over the place. Connor McDavid, Dylan Larkin. It's Larkin.
So I will say this, regardless of the Wings win or lose, I'm putting Alex Lyon as my first star.
Indeed. Tyler Myers' long shot is stopped by Jari, and Malkin picks it up. This might be a break. Brian Russ has only Myers to beat, and a save by Demko.
So the Red Wings now have this in behind the net. It's Lucas Raymond, as we're kind of doing a little bit of picture-in-picture on the radio side of the broadcast. Raymond still trying to drive this thing, and it'll fall back to Woolman in the neutral zone. Let me know if you got updates.
Joe's Omar back in, and Joe Larkin is stopped by Bedard. Loose puck all over the place. Leon Draisaitl tied up, is taken out. No penalty on the ice. Bouchard has it. And Draisaitl will pick this one up at center ice. McDavid and Draisaitl move in. McDavid for Draisaitl is broken up. Oilers keep.
How did Larkin not score there? The pass for Draisaitl, that one was just knocked away. And Evan Bouchard, he sets up Draisaitl, and now it's McDavid. Draisaitl going to go ahead and take his change, and now McDavid will as well. Maybe the Red Wings breathe a sigh of relief there. Hyman got to be careful. Power move toward the net. Turnover. Scores! Darnell Nurse.
What a ride of emotions. Here's Jake Kessel. To the net. Saved by Demko. This game is still going in Pittsburgh. With 2:30 to play here in overtime as we're going all over the place. Yeah, Zach Hyman had to be careful there. Darnell Nurse, he helped out Hyman on the rush to the net. It's basically a bull rush, which he took it himself. This puck sliding all the way to Vancouver's ice. Oh, Demko has to be careful. He nearly pointed out the trapezoid. Long stretch pass is broken up, but that could have been delay of game. Here comes the Penguins looking to end it. Pass in front blocked. And the Canucks move the other side. Here's a break. Elias Pettersson scores! Elias Pettersson, the winner for Vancouver in overtime. And they get the extra point to keep their Pacific Division lead.
Man, we got double overtime and did a double game, and both of our teams lost? What the heck?
What in the absolute world is this, John?
That'll never happen again. Hey, at least for both of us, I can say this and take the positive side. For as bad as the Red Wings were outshot, they get a point. Again, you had to pull Alex Nedeljkovic, and somehow Pittsburgh still picks up a point against a very good Vancouver team. I'm watching this off the rush on the Root Sports feed. This is blocked out in front. Here's a glorious stretch pass from 100, and Pettersson, that is silky between the legs of Jarry.
I mean, Jarry was doing all he could to stop it. I mean, but Pettersson, he showed he's one of the best players in the league. Exactly, he's one of the best in the league as such. Breakaways, making no mistake of why he's the face of this Canucks franchise. You can say the same thing for Demko or Quinn Hughes, but Pettersson is him. He never forgot that.
I will say this, Alec, I mentioned it earlier throughout the broadcast. Even as a Red Wings fan, I always respect the Penguins. I really wanted the natural hat trick there for Sidney Crosby, but at least he gave the team an opportunity to get a point. And I can understand it after that latest goal for Elias Pettersson, who also has two. Why are they going to give him the Brinks truck of money? Because he deserves it.
Every penny. At least start at $9 million a year.
I think that's going to be the bare minimum asking price from everything that we had. Well, Alec, honestly, in our first broadcast, we had a lot more fun even than I thought you and I would have expected because we had 3 overtime games after our featured contest. So this was a hell of a way to kick it back off and hopefully to get a chance to do this again soon next week.
Yeah, let's do it again next week, John. How about it?
Sounds good, my friend. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Well, we had our featured game between Seattle and Washington, and then we had 3 overtime games and mixed of all of it. So anybody that caught this in between the YouTube side, you got a little bit of a treat. We will see you guys on Saturday. I don't know if I'm going to be joined by Cooper Hopkins or not, because I'm not sure if he's headed back to California or if he's in Seattle after being at Energy Stadium in Houston between Michigan and Washington. But if he is, we'll join back on Saturday. If not, I will be here Saturday for the Golden Knights and the Calgary Flames. Have a good one, everybody. I will talk to you then. Peace.